soil with fans in the building.
With fans in the building.
Obviously, we were here in Edmonton when Tampa won.
And Montreal,
2020.
1,000.
The following year, I was in Montreal for that, but it wasn't the same. There were 1,000 all the nurses and first responders and things like that were in there. So this has been different. This has been fantastic. The market here never disappoints. Edmonton is one of the craziest sports markets in
passionate fans
in North America. The fans are unbelievable, and as they continue to make their way into the building here, and you know what, I'm excited. I'm excited for, as I said, I'm excited for this game. I can't wait. I can't wait for this thing to get going.
Hopefully, it lives up to all the hype, because over the last couple of days, there's been a lot of hype around this game.
Yep.
Where people anticipate great things, another great matchup. And Game 5 was the best game of the final day.
It was.
Right?
It was.
The most drama and the most competitive.
A lot of back and forth. And as we talked about, as the game progressed, Florida started to make some inroads. So if they carry that now, if they carry that here into this game, then, it's going to be an interesting one. As we mentioned, if you missed it, Nick Cousins will be entering the lineup for the Florida Panthers in this one. We don't have any other official changes yet. Now Okposo is officially listed as a scratch on the media site. So we wait to see what happens with the Oilers. Evander Kane now, as we're saying it, they're updating live in real time. Evander Kane listed as a scratch.
Sport tournament, Dave. He's not going to be effective.
Tough.
You can't do it.
No, exactly.
You can't do it.
And why bother? Why have a guy at 20% in the Stanley Cup Finals?
You're not making changes when you're winning.
You cannot.
It's as simple as that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a smart move by. It's the right move by Chris Knobloch. Let's go to our final break. On the other side, we'll bring in Nick Alberger from NHL.com, who's doing some work for the YouTube channel there, and also Leafs Nation, I believe. It's Face-Off Live from the Stanley Cup Final, Game 6 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. I'm Dennis, that's Dave. Top of the hour, Channel 91. Stay here. You'll hear the Sports USA call with John Allers, Brian Boucher, and Billy Jaffe. If you're a Panthers fan, Sirius 161, XM 219, Doug Plagens and Billy Lindsay. If you're an Oilers backer, Sirius 162, XM 220 for Jack Michaels and Bob Stauffer. You can hear all the calls on the new Sirius XM app. We'll be back with our final segment, teeing up Game 6, right after this.
In case you missed it in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Carry it through traffic to the net. One-timer score! It's Corey Perry! Rebound, McDavid fires and scores! And there will be a Game 6! McDavid said it, and now he's delivered!
Hey Insiders, thanks for joining us for Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Check out the link that is pinned at the top of the chat, as well as in the description. Go take a look at it. It's our Tiltify campaign with sick kids. Let's make a difference in our community. This amazing group of people. Thank you all for being here and hanging out with us. Have some fun in the chat. Donate if you can. Thank you all. Back to the hockey. We'll see you in the chat.
To the Stanley Cup Final!
Everything is on the line.
The Stanley Cup Final.
Don't miss a moment.
NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And the Sirius XM app.
With Verizon, now everyone can get our best phone deals.
Even if I'm new?
Even if you're new.
What if I've been with Verizon forever?
Oh, yeah. You see, new and existing customers get the amazing iPhone 15 with tons of storage on us. With any iPhone trade, any model, any condition. Guaranteed with unlimited ultimate.
Here's one. What if?
That's a yes. There's a deal out there for everyone. Only at Verizon. $829.99, 128 gigabyte only device payment or full retail purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line on unlimited ultimate plan. Minimum $90 a month with auto pay plus taxes and fees for 36 months.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for joining us for another NHL Stanley Cups. All right, that was funny. I'm just going to leave it in there. Thanks for joining us for the Stanley Cup Finals, game number 6. Hit that like button if you have not done so already. That helps bring more people into the chat. And another way to get more people in the chat, hit that share button and send it out to all the social networks that you can. Hockey boards, sports boards, chat groups, your friends, your enemies, whatever. Get more people here in the chat. It makes it more fun. And let's cheer on the Oilers. And Canada, go. Oilers, go. See you guys in the chat.
XM NHL Network Radio.
It's XM NHL Network Radio. The teams are finishing up their warm-ups. It's about 7 minutes before they finish. At the top of the hour, again, we'll hand it off on Channel 91 to the Sports USA call with John Allers, Brian Boucher, and Billy Jaffe. Joining us in press row, and I forget all his credits, so he'll probably tell you himself, Nick Alberger. Nick, welcome to the show.
It's my first time here on NHL Network Radio. Great to be here, guys.
Okay. All right.
They dragged me all the way back to Alberta. Just the travel.
Alberta in Alberta.
Yeah, I know. Somebody actually told me to change my last name on social media to Alberta for this series, but these days, like, you can't do that because there's got to be like a review period, so I didn't do it. But guys, I'm pumped to be here. I still can't believe we're at a Game 6 considering where the series was a couple days ago, eh?
No, it's nuts. Yeah. I mean, seriously, 3-0 lead for the Florida Panthers now to get into this one. By the way, official rosters are now in. No changes for the Edmonton Oilers. That means, obviously, Evander Kane, as we said before the break. I mean, guy's got a sports hernia. I'm surprised he played the first couple of games that he did. And then the only change for the Florida Panthers, as expected, Nick Cousins coming in. Edmonton, Nick, sticks to it. They stick to their guns. They're rolling with the same thing that's worked for them the last couple of games. Right decision.
Yes, they stick to their gun, not guns. There's a guy who is not from this planet. There is not a planet where this guy is from. And I just wondered all day and flying in last night, the confidence the Oilers have knowing that they have the backing of number 97. And it wouldn't be a shock to me, which is amazing, if after this series it comes out that McDavid's dealing with a couple things, which makes this run even more historic.
That much more impressive. You're right. We've heard it as well. He's dealing with a pretty significant injury. A few players are. And he's still playing in a manner in which is just, to me, ridiculously impressive.
I was sitting on my couch, guys. I'm like, I can't even do what this guy's doing in the NHL in my video game. Like, and I try my best to explain this on a daily basis. It's like anybody who's played beer league hockey, there's always that one guy in your league or on your team that has no business being in that league.
Right.
I can transfer it over to something I like playing softball, where there's somebody just way too good for your league, and they're in your league. But the unfortunate part about this, there is no other league DB for Connor McDavid to play in. This guy's on a different planet.
Maybe the Premier League in England, try soccer, but not hockey-wise.
So the point I was getting to was the confidence that the Oilers must feel knowing that they have this guy in their lineup, right?
No question. 5 minutes left in warm-up. I'll give you the Panthers line rushes right now. As we told you, Carter Verhaeghe's going to go up top with Barkov and Reinhart, Evan Rodriguez, Sam Bennett, and Matthew Tkachuk. Lusterainen, Lundell, Tarasenko, the consistent third line. Fourth line, you'll see the change with Nick Cousins, Kevin Stenlund, and the Lamborghini, Ryan Lombard. Pairs stay the same. Forsling and Etblag up top. Mikkola and Montour as the second pair, and OEL and Kulikov as the third pair defense, and certainly Sergei Bobrovsky in Game 6 as the starter. Nick, if you're a Panthers fan, are you concerned about Bobrovsky and Ned over the last couple of games?
Not really. I'm more concerned about the team defensively. To me, they look like a team that, you know, what's the old saying where you like count your chickens before they hatch? Is that proper, guys? I'm never good with these things.
That's the one. Don't count your chickens. Yep.
So it feels like this team was up 3-0. They're like, hey, we have this in the bag. But again, Edmonton didn't stop playing. Skinner's been good.
Yep.
Defensively, I don't know if it's neutralizing speed in the neutral zone, limiting the chances. Discipline's been a big factor, I think, the last couple games. I think the big key here for the Florida Panthers is boring everybody in the building, and I hate that because I'm here to have fun and watch and just be entertained, but they got to go back to the basics, which is crazy to say in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. But this team, guys, is known for their defensive structure, and they've been playing this run-and-gun barn-burner style, which I get it. You're versatile. You can play that style, but that's not what brought you success. So, long story short, to answer your question, I would not be concerned about Bobrovsky. It'd be more about the team in front of him.
Yep. From Bob Stauffer, the line rushes, a little bit of a change. They are tweaking, at least from a line rush standpoint. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with McDavid and Hyman, Warren Fogle, Leon Draisaitl, Holloway. Third line's going to stay the same. Janmark, Henrique, and Connor Brown, who's been a revelation for them, especially shorthanded. The fourth line will be Ron McLeod, Derek Ryan, Corey Perry, who scored the game winner in Game 4. Ekholm and Bouchard up top, of course. Second pair, and I mentioned this, Broberg's been a steadying force for this blue line contingent. Philip Broberg, Darnell Nurse. The third pair will be Kulak and Ceci, and of course Stuart Stinner, who's been really great in Games 4 and 7 late in playoffs. is going to start again in net for the Edmonton Oilers. Dave?
We got pregame. We'll wrap up in here in a couple minutes. Nobody wants to get off the ice, so that's something. Everybody's raring. Everybody's itching to go.
Yeah, that's interesting to see.
Yep.
With just 2 minutes left in warm, there's a ton of players still on the ice.
You got an X-Factor player here,
Guys,
Nick, for either team?
Can we get into this first and foremost? Someone make a trade, okay? I don't know what we're waiting for.
Right, cool.
We got to bang that drum a bit. But number two, my guy I'm watching for tonight, I was told he had an amazing contract here, Sam Reinhart.
Yes.
Where you been, dude? And it just shows you guys again. It's so easy to rag on players this time of year. Who knows what the guy's dealing with? But
there's something.
You talk about X factors. You had an unbelievable season. You want to get paid. You're going to get paid. It's probably going to be by the Florida Panthers. He's the guy I'm looking at, and it's hard to call him an X factor considering the season he had. But it's simple for me. If Reinhart gets a goal or is in the mix similar to Tkachuk last game, I don't know about you guys. I don't know how you feel because Edmonton's been a great story, but I think the Panthers could find a way. That's the pathway for me.
They need one more guy to step up and to get going. One of their top guys. Tkachuk did it last game. I expect him to continue and carry that out today. But you're right. They need somebody else. They need a Verhaeghe or a Reinhart to get going again. And
they got production from Evan Rodriguez. Remember, he scored 2 goals in the first 2 games, and that really helped the team because they're not in a powerhouse offensively. They're not going to overwhelm you with goal scoring. They're going to wear you down with their 4 lines and 3 pairs.
As we were told, as we shared at the beginning of the show, we believe that there's word around is that both Reinhart and Verhaeghe are also dealing with something.
I'm dealing with something at this point.
Well,
we all are.
Well, that's self-inflicted.
That is self-inflicted.
That's self-inflicted.
That was not by the opposition. That's all you. Nick.
That's a you problem.
Fair.
Definitely. Well done. Well done. Everybody is still gearing up for this one. We got a couple minutes to go here before we take you into the national call. Here on Channel 91, Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio.
I miss these parts, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it here.
Okay, Nick, 2 minutes left in the show. What do you got?
Prediction time.
I'm staying consistent. This is a Peterborough special. Always wants predictions. I love that. 6 games. I picked 6 games. I know the pathway's been really, really weird, going 3-0, 3-2.
Yep.
I got to stay consistent. The best team in the league this year was the Florida Panthers, pound for pound. I'm taking Florida tonight. I think we're going to see a monster game from Matthew Tkachuk. I mentioned Reinhart. I think Florida's going to take it home tonight.
Dave, are we going to Florida for 7?
I'm sticking with my Florida in 6 pick. I have to because that's what I picked. So, honestly, I don't care at this point. Just I'm never going to see home ever again, so forget it. Wherever. It doesn't matter.
Not till August, probably, at this point?
Yep.
Okay, I have the Oilers in 6. I've been waffling since, I think, Game 4, the end of Game 4. But I want a Game 7. Okay. The Oilers find a way. I think they ride the momentum of Games 4 and 5. They're going to certainly be boosted by the crowd tonight, which should be amazing. So, tune in at the top of the hour. Don't miss anything.
Corey Perry misses the empty net.
That is a bad omen right now.
Okay, well, that's what people say. So,
Nick, thank you for joining us. Nick Alberga.
My pleasure.
Yep, it's been Face-Off Live from the Stanley Cup Final, Game 6 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Channel 91, top of the hour, Sports USA call with John Allers, Brian Boucher, and Billy Jaffe. Sirius 161, XM 219, Doug Plazins and Billy Lindsay. Sirius 162, XM 220, Jack Michaels and Bob Stuffer. This will either be the final show of Face-Off Live for the season, or we will talk to you from Game 7 in Sunrise on Monday night. Enjoy Game 6, and we'll talk to you whenever.
We are thrilled to be in Miami, Florida.
Taking a break from his blockbuster summer tour,
Play my guitar in the Caribbean.
Kenny performs a special live acoustic set
Can we all get along?
exclusively for SiriusXM subscribers.
When the sun goes down.
Kenny Chesney, the South Beach Sessions.
What a beautiful place to play music.
Replays all week
On No Shoes Radio.
Channel 59.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the hockey game. Hey, thanks for being here and catching the game with us. Appreciate it. But please hit that subscribe button as well. In game number 5, 70.5% of the viewers were not subscribed. How is that even possible? Thanks for being here. It's free. Just go down right there, right now, hit that subscribe button, and please help grow this awesome community of Toronto sports fans so we can help change the world one single game at a time. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you guys real soon. See you in the chat.
Bad man back in the day.
That was Maple Leafs winger Ryan Reeves on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio Channel 91 with Dave McCarthy for the Sunday Brunch.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts.
Hey Insiders, thanks for joining us for Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Check out the link that is pinned at the top of the chat as well as in the description. Go take a look at it. It's our Tiltify campaign with sick kids. Let's make a difference in our community. This amazing group of people. Thank you all for being here and hanging out with us. Have some fun in the chat. Donate if you can. Thank you all. Back to the hockey. We'll see you in the chat.
Position to, make that a priority, right? We're one game at a time, so we got to win a game at home tonight and, get this thing back to Florida, and then it's a one-game series. So, of course, you think about it, but you're, I don't know how to say it. I guess your focus is on this one game tonight and not what's going to happen, in 4 or 5 days from now.
There you go. That is Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers. As we look at the injury report, it's brought to you by MIC, proud partner, official medical imaging provider to the Edmonton Oilers. Evander Kane skated hard yesterday. He's been at the last 2 practices for the Edmonton Oilers, but will not play tonight. He is out with a core injury, lower body injury, not available for the Edmonton Oilers is Troy Stetcher. We go to the line of the game, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, an official gaming partner of the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers are actually going to flip their top 2 left wings. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins back with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. Warren Foegele moves down and plays with Leon Draisaitl and Dylan Holloway. McDavid, in the 2 games that Foegele was on his line, had 8 points. It's an interesting decision. Adam Henrique with Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown. We'll hear a little bit later on about just how effective this Oilers third line has been. Derek Ryan with Ryan McLeod and Corey Perry. Matthias Ekholm with Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse, and Philip Broberg. They're going to need to elevate the level of their performance. They had some tough moments in Game 5 in Florida. Brett Kulak was Edmonton's best defenseman against the Panthers in Game 5. He's paired with Cody Ceci. Stuart Skinner starts in goal. In this series, he's now up to a .902 save percentage. Sergei Bobrovsky has dropped to an .896 save percentage in the series. In Games 4 through 7 in the postseason, Stuart Skinner is 9-0, a 1.56 goals against average and a .938 save percentage. The Oilers' power play overall in the playoffs is at 30.6%. That's second. They got the best penalty killing. Man, it's been unbelievable. It's a huge storyline for the Oilers. It's at 93.9%. In the playoffs overall, it's number 1. In this actual series, Edmonton's power play 3 for 21, albeit all 3 goals in the last 2 games. That's at 14.3%. Penalty killing is at 93.8%, 15 of 16 in the series. They've outscored Florida 2-1 in the series with the PK. Over the last 15 games, the Edmonton Oilers penalty killing has killed off 43 of 44 shorthanded situations and outscored the opposition 3-1. Florida Panthers will make one change. It's further down their lineup. Barkov will be with Verhaeghe and Reinhart as Rodriguez, Bennett, and Tkachuk really got him going in Game 5. Carter Verhaeghe in the series has 1 goal in 5 games and is -7. Anton Lundell's been impressive. He's got 4 points in 5 games. He'll be with Eetu Luostarinen and Vladimir Tarasenko. Kevin Stenlund, they brought Ryan Longberg in last game for Steven Lorentz. Now they're going to bring in Nick Cousins for Kyle Oposo, looking for a little bit more bite in their bottom 6. Gustav Forslane's been terrific for the Panthers. He's playing in this series 24-02. He'll be with Aaron Ekblad. Nico Mikkola with Brandon Montour. Oliver Ekman-Larsson with Dmitry Kulikov. Sergei Bobrovsky started the series through the first 8 periods of the series, stopping 78 out of 80 shots. It's a .975 save percentage. Since then, since Game 3, Period 3, Bob has stopped just 34 of 45 shots. It's a .756 save percentage. That is a complete statistical rundown and look at tonight's game. And that is the line of the game presented by PlayAlberta.ca, an official gaming partner of your Edmonton Oilers. 18 minutes to face off. This is Rogers Game Night on the Oilers Radio Network.
Straining to find the right home? You're going to love this. For a limited time, get back in the game with a free Oiler Fan Cave basement by Coventry Homes. This playoff package includes a free basement, plus an exclusive Oiler Fan Cave, complete with their signature customizable designs and top shelf finishes at no additional cost. Because flexibility is within reach. Coventry Homes, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for joining us for another NHL Stanley Cups. All right, that was funny. I'm just going to leave it in there. Thanks for joining us for the Stanley Cup Finals, game number 6. Hit that like button if you have not done so already. That helps bring more people into the chat. And another way to get more people in the chat, hit that share button and send it out to all the social networks that you can. Hockey boards, sports boards, chat groups, your friends, your enemies, whatever. Get more people here in the chat. It makes it more fun. And let's cheer on the Oilers. And Canada, go. Oilers, go. See you guys in the chat.
Playoffs 50-50 is live for the Stanley Cup Final. The jackpot is currently sitting at $5 million and climbing fast. Buy your tickets now to be eligible for tonight's early bird prizes. 7:30 p.m. for $2,000 from Safeway and 8 p.m. for $25,000 in cash. Tonight's Oilers playoff 50-50 is in support of the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation, supporting Albertans battling cancer, kids with critical illness, and animal shelters, food security, military personnel, and much more. Well, the last 2 games, the Oilers have started their third line. Adam Henrique with Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown, and all they've done is score shorthanded goals to get the team going in the first period of both games, and then combine for a terrific 5v5 goal as well. They've been difference makers, and Connor McDavid, who's got 8 points in the last 2 games, he had this to say about the impact of the Oilers' third line.
Yeah, they've been fantastic. 5-on-5 and on the kill. All 3 of those guys are big pieces of the kill. The 5-on-5, as you said, they've been doing a great job going out there against whoever. Whether that's the Barkov line or any other line, they've been fantastic, and that's a big part. Even the fourth line's been great as well. I mean, this time of year to win, you need every single person. We've had guys out of the lineup come in and do a great job, and the guys who are out of the lineup are staying ready, when their time is called. So it's really been a total team effort, to get us to this point.
We go to La Pizza 73, out-of-town scoreboard. Of course, the NHL draft is next week. A couple huge trades made on the travel day. A couple days ago, the Calgary Flames moved goaltender Jacob Markstrom for Kevin Ball in a 2025 number 1. And the LA Kings rid themselves of that monstrosity that is the Pierre-Luc Dubois contract, and they get back former Red Deer Rebel Darcy Kemper. In the American Hockey League, the Calder Cup has taken place. They are through 4 games in the series, and the series is tied 2-2 between Coachella Valley, who plays in the Pacific Division, down in Palm Desert, and Hershey, coached by Todd Nelson, who's rumored to be in the mix as a potential coaching candidate with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Game 5 of that series in the AHL goes tomorrow night down in Palm Desert. That is the out-of-town scoreboard presented by Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. The NHL draft is next Friday. Think about that. We go to Legacy Heating and Cooling. Who's hot, who's not? Legacy Heating and Cooling, home and no payments and no interest for a year. Well, is there anybody hotter than Connor McDavid? 8 points in his last 2 games. He has the second most points in Stanley Cup Final history. He's 2 points away from of Wayne Gretzky. Connor McDavid with 11 points in 5 games so far in the series, plus 4. And he has now moved into 4th all-time most points in the postseason. And if you do it by error-adjusted totals, he would be number 1. McDavid with 42 points in these playoffs so far. Wayne Gretzky had 47 back in the 84-85 season, in which Edmonton and Chicago engaged in a 6-game series, which was the highest-scoring series in NHL history. 11 minutes to face off. This is Rogers Game Night on the Oilers Radio Network.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm proud to call myself an Albertan. You know, after years of touring this great province in my Ford F-150, I've learned the value of driving a tough, capable, smart truck. Whether you're working for the weekend or long-hauling it like I am, there's an F-150 for every Albertan, with plenty of options to choose from, like available Pro Power on board. So if you're looking for a new truck, stop by your Alberta Ford dealer. and tell them PB sent you.
McDavid trying to come in with speed. Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores!
Hey, Edmonton. Rogers wants you to stay connected to your Edmonton Oilers.
Connor McDavid! Fantastic!
Catch every goal on Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network with Rogers 5G mobile plans. To learn more, visit
Hey Insiders, thanks for joining us for Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Check out the link that is pinned at the top of the chat as well as in the description. Go take a look at it. It's our Tiltify campaign with sick kids. Let's make a difference in our community. This amazing group of people. Thank you all for being here and hanging out with us. Have some fun in the chat. Donate if you can. Thank you all. Back to the hockey. We'll see you in the chat.
Of how my team plays in front of me. These guys have been nothing but be supportive and play good on both ends of the ice, kind of like the first question I answered there. But to be honest, it's what you do when things kind of come your way, and whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's all about how you respond. And I think for myself, it's just trying to give this team a chance to win every night.
That is Stuart Skinner, 9-0, games 4 through 7 in the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. Welcome back, everybody, to Rogers Game Night, courtesy of Rogers, Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network. We're in the Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Legacy Heating and Cooling, home and no payments and no interest. And we bring aboard our inside the game analyst, Rob Brown, who's gutting it out. He's hurting a bit tonight. Hello, Rob. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Bob. Big night, game night. Yeah. Here it is. This is what everyone's been waiting for.
All right. Well, I mean, the Oilers have a chance to survive and advance to a Game 7. How have they flipped the script in this series that saw the Florida Panthers build up a 3-0 lead?
Well, I don't think they flipped a whole lot, Bob. I think you and I both know that the Oilers were the better team in Game 1 and ran into a fantastic goaltending night. Game 2, Florida was the better team. Both, so it should have been 1-1 after 2 games. In Game 3, the Oilers played well enough to win. They didn't, but they played well enough. So I don't think the Oilers had to do a whole lot different. I think puck luck eventually got on their side. The ones that were going off the crossbar and out for them were now hitting the back of the net in the twine. And the Florida Panthers were now the ones having an open net and putting it off the post. So the hockey gods finally equaled things out. And the Oilers are a good hockey team playing well, getting saves. And at the end of the day, when you get saves and you've got the better of the two specialty teams, you're going to find yourself on the right side of the scoreboard.
Do you have any possible explanation for the fact that Stuart Skinner has wobbled at times, Game 2 against LA, Games 1 and Game 3 against the Vancouver Canucks, but he's been able to survive, and he's now sitting in a situation where he's 9-0, games 4 through 7 in this year's playoffs?
Well, we just have to look at the other end. The guy at the opposite end, Bobrovsky's got 2 Vezinas. He's up for the Vezina again this year. He's had some bobbles in this series. All goaltenders have off night, just like all players do. I think it's funny. After Game 2 of this series, if you would have said, you know what, after Game 5, the Oilers would have more confidence in their goaltender than the Florida Panthers would in theirs, you would have said, come on, seriously. But it's that way. Right now, Bobrovsky is an X factor because he hasn't had back-to-back good games. Where Stuart Skinner right now, every time he's on the saves coming here, like he's going to swallow it. It can't get past him. There's no rebound. He's got some swagger. So I don't know if there's any other, if you can pinpoint anything other than Stuart Skinner is a very good goaltender that is learning his trade on the job. He was thrust into a situation that he's not supposed to be in. He's still supposed to be the backup. And he's learning as he goes. And what you love about him is the mental toughness that he has. When things went sideways in the Vancouver series, all right, I'll get better. And he did. And he's another big reason the Edmonton Oilers have a chance here to advance to Game 7.
Rob, the players are going to come on the ice in about a minute. That gives us time to do the Ford keys to the game. Ford is the official partner of your Edmonton Oilers, built Ford proud.
Well, I believe physicality. The Oilers are on the home ice, and when you've got a crowd that just wants to explode, hit everybody. I mean, you bump someone, it's going to sound like he just drove someone through the board. So be physical, but in a smart way. And if somehow you can get that first goal, the Florida Panthers, the last thing they want to do is chase another hockey game. So to me, a big save from Skinner and putting the first puck in the back of the net would go a long way in securing a victory and a chance to go back to Florida here in a few days.
That is our Inside the Game analyst, Rob Brown. More with Rob and Reed Wilkins, the end of the roll, first and second intermission. The Edmonton Oilers, Stuart Skinner, is about to lead the team on the ice. The Florida Panthers, Sergei Bobrovsky, has just come out there. We're going to get after it here. We're going to take you in-house as Stuart Skinner walks to center ice here at Rogers Place. There's nothing better at the start of summer than Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Edmonton Oilers looking to extend the Stanley Cup Final to a Game 7 with one of the most improbable comebacks, theoretically, dating all the way back to the start of the season, and now this to the Stanley Cup Final in NHL history. Jack Michaels is ready to go. He'll have the call up next. Game 6 Stanley Cup Final. The Oilers Radio Network on 4 dealers. NHL Hockey awaits.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah, well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations.
Hey you! Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the hockey game. Hey, thanks for being here and catching the game with us. Appreciate it. But please hit that subscribe button as well. In game number 5, 70.5% of the viewers were not subscribed. How is that even possible? Thanks for being here. It's free. Just go down
Edmonton
right now. Hit that subscribe
button.
And please help grow this awesome community of Toronto sports fans so we can help change the world one single game at a time. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you guys real soon. See you in the chat.
Visit mic.ca.
International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 955, is one of Alberta's largest and most diverse union locals in the province. Members work in everything from construction and maintenance to pipelines, renewables, healthcare, education, municipalities, and more. They are a big part of Alberta's past and will be a big part of Alberta's future. Apprenticeship, jobs, pension. That's IUOE Local 955. Visit joinustoday.ca to learn more, and let's go Oilers.
We welcome you back for tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by our friends at Coventry Homes, the preferred builder of the Edmonton Oilers, who will start Stuart Skinner in net, Evan Bouchard and Matthias Ekholm on the back end, and the line that's injected a ton of energy in the last 2 games of this Stanley Cup Final. Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown on the wings, Adam Henrique at center. Here's Robert Clark.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command.
Now, tonight's exclusive NHL broadcast.
Perry shoots and scores!
Now it's Draisaitl off to Connor McDavid. Centers Kane for the hat trick. He scores!
All the action called by the voices who know the game inside and out.
This crowd explodes!
Bob Stauffer and Jack Michaels on the Oilers Radio Network.
For someone who grew up in the Cold War, something ironic about chants of Sergei throughout the U.S. national anthem. But that's what makes the city of Edmonton so special. And one of the most special nights in the history of this city is about to unfold. Rogers Place, Game 6, Stanley Cup Final, and we've got it! Alongside Bob Stauffer, I'm Jack Michaels, Reed Wilkins, and Rob Brown, part of our Oilers Radio Network broadcast team. We told you about the starting lineups, brought to you by our friends at Coventry Homes. Florida counters with Sam Bennett, Evan Rodriguez, who's been their best 5-on-5 player in this series, and Matthew Tkachuk. Forsling and Ekblad, and the opening puck drop is underway, and so is Game 6. The Panthers control and send it in from right to left. They're in the white with blue pants and red and yellow trim. Here's Rodriguez twisting it in front, stolen away by Matthias Janmark up the right-hand side, and battling hard is Adam Henrique. The Oilers in the blue and orange with a white trim. Matthias Ekholm off to Connor Brown and swiftly through the middle. Evan Bouchard punched ahead by Janmark, and now Adam Henrique, left wing, finds Brown. He's circling, he's waiting, he's being checked by Ekblad, and he thrusts it over to Darnell Nurse, who backhands it in front. Taken control of by Philip Broberg. A shot misses short side. Rebound, Leon Draisaitl, who promised to be better tonight. He centers, and a quick chance for Warren Foegele, blocked away. Foegele and Nugent Hopkins switching places tonight. So Nugent Hopkins back with McDavid and Hyman. Foegele with Draisaitl and Dylan Holloway. The Panthers turn it over at the Edmonton line. Here's Draisaitl, step shot, and a save made by Bobrovsky, and the rebound tugged free by Alexander Barkov. The Florida Panthers lead this best-of-7 Stanley Cup Final 3-2. This is their third crack at claiming the Stanley Cup against Edmonton in this final. Barkov hard on the forecheck. Now Draisaitl pitches it forward to Ekholm, steered right side for Foegele, and a shot slithers wide. Rebound, Dylan Holloway on the left half boards, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson up the right-hand side. The Oilers have already become only the second time in 79 years to force a Game 6 when trailing 3-0 in the final. Adam Henrique was on the other team, and that was 2012 New Jersey. McDavid off to Bouchard, whose stick exploded on him. Florida will try to smack it in. Ekman-Larsson off Lou Ostarinen, and shoveled back by McDavid. Up the right-hand side for Zach Hyman, who leads all Stanley Cup playoff goal scorers with 15. Only Ovechkin and Crosby have matched that total since 1996. Sent in by Florida. And Stuart Skinner in the pipes for Edmonton. 4-0 with a save percentage of .928 in elimination games. Angled up the right-hand side. McLeod threw it down low, and they waved off icing. Forsling had it knocked away by McLeod. Driven back in by Kulak from center ice. And Bobrovsky will knock it down. Bobrovsky is 5-0 as a Florida Panther in games 6 and 7. The Panthers are guilty of an icing call, so something must give in the goaltending matchup. And with 2:38 having elapsed in the scoreless first period from our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth, let me introduce you to Bob Stauffer.
Great shot by Connor McDavid, by Leon Draisaitl, but to the glove side on Sergei Bobrovsky. And he tries to sell that glove to you and give it to you. You know where...
High blocker.
High blocker, right side on Bobrovsky. That's where teams have had success.
McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Connor McDavid coming off back-to-back 4-point games. He's now 5 away from Wayne Gretzky's all-time record of 47 points in a single playoff year. Matthew Tkachuk had a goal and an assist in a losing effort in Game 5, but here he turns it over. And now it's McDavid trying to get around. Gustav Forsling pulls up, had the puck knocked away, a shot, and that was tipped wide by Hyman. Nico Mikkola taken out in the corner, and it snapped cross ice, and the Florida Panthers try to move it back through center. Our referees tonight, Jean Hebert and Chris Rooney, and now I believe we have an offside call against Edmonton as Zach Hyman lingered. Devin Berg and Ryan Daisy are the linesmen, and a faceoff will come out to center ice with 3 minutes and 7 seconds having elapsed in this scoreless first period. Florida 7-3 on the road in the playoffs. Edmonton is 7-4 at home, but the big story really, Bob, and how this series turned was Game 3 when the Oilers got 2 in the third period. Since that time, Edmonton has outscored Florida 15-4 in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Did they puncture a bit of the air of invincibility on Sergei Bobrovsky?
I don't think there's any question they did. Up the right-hand side, Ekman Larson defending Holloway. Bobrovsky with a handoff. And now Ryan Lomberg up the middle of the ice. Nick Cousins playing his first game since May the 26th. Broberg will shoot it in. Bobrovsky will leave it for Ekman Larson. Sent ahead for Lomberg. And now you've got Dmitry Kulikov. And Cousins makes sure of a clear indeed. Cousins is in his 10th year. Centering pass off the side of the net. So probably unfazed by the 26-day layoff. Kulikov will throw it around the boards. Ekman Larson hammered by Holloway. Loose in the corner. And now wrestled free. Nurse got popped by Lomberg after dropping a man himself. The Panthers come over. Cousins tried to cut it off, but it was relieved off his stick, and Ekman Larson has to cover up.
Lomberg got away with one. Maybe Nurse did before, but Lomberg saw they weren't going to make a call, and he laid a big hit on Darnell.
Carter Verhaeghe has been awfully quiet. No points in his last 4 and -7 in the series. Sends it ad for Barkov. He's been reunited with both Barkov and Sam Reinhart. Panthers get it in deep. Kulak forces up the right-hand side. Nico Mikkola crowding as we're scoreless 4.5 minutes in. Cody Ceci tries to squeeze through a sliver of daylight. Can't do it. Mikkola behind the net. Now snap back to the point, and you've got Verhaeghe a shot into a crowd. That was blocked by Ceci. He'll chip and tried to move around Verhaeghe. Unsuccessful in that endeavor, and played back down low for Sam Reinhart. Florida thought its 5-on-5 game was very good in Game 5. They just struggled on special teams, giving up 2 power play goals and a shorthanded goal in a 5-3 loss. Kulak will send it up the right-hand side. Ceci. Knight, sit free. Here's a lead pass, Brown. Spin move, right circle. Janmark, this crowd just ready to elevate, so anything resembling a scoring chance, Brown did not come close to getting a shot off. Janmark will, fires in a save made by Bobrovsky up near the clavicle. 14:43 to go in the first period. It's just the 3rd shot on goal in this hockey game. 2 belong to Edmonton. And this crowd, this city, Bob, there is nothing like it. And yes, this is an Edmonton Oilers broadcast, but I'm sorry. As you know, I'm a fan of other teams and different sports. I've been in it. There is nothing like being in it than being in it in Edmonton.
No question about it. And the Oilers want to be on it, so their fans can even be more in it.
Derek Ryan between McLeod and Corey Perry, who scored his first goal of the playoffs, and it turned out to be the game winner in Game 5. And now off the draw, that was very close to a high stick. It was thrown to the side of the net.
Wow.
Bobrovsky was able to cover, but at live speed, I thought Perry got clipped in the face.
Like, how do you miss that? I mean, and maybe the memo is no calls, let the teams decide it when the fan...
Oh. Well, at live speed, I thought it was Lundell's stick. There is an outside possibility it was friendly fire, but at live speed, I thought it was Lundell.
I'm with you. I thought it was Lundell as well.
Off the draw, Forsling. Here's Aaron Ekblad. Whistles one up the middle for Luo Starinen, and he'll chip it behind Darnell Nurse. It's cleared up the left-hand side. Not out. Wrist shot thrown toward the net. Forsling will step up and drive one wide of Skinner. Rebound Tarasenko. Top of the right circle. Snap shot. Redirected. Backhander off the side of the net from Aaron Ekblad. Rolls back in front and could not get a second shot opportunity on net. Now Ryan. Overpowered down low by Lundell. Ryan got back into the play. Tarasenko threw it around the boards. Ekblad will step up. Slide step around Corey Perry. Open Forsling, a shot, and that was blocked in front. And that time was Broberg with a shot block. Nice little spin move by McLeod. Shakes free of traffic, and here's Broberg left to right. Dumping it in from the blue line. Bobrovsky nowhere to move this puck. Finally sends it over to Ekblad. He's in trouble. McDavid's on him. Quickly reverses up to Matthew Tkachuk, and he spilled it successfully to center, where it's immediately wristed down deep by Evan Rodriguez. Florida's outscored Edmonton 7-0 with Rodriguez on the ice, 5-on-5. Here's Ekholm, right-hand side. Nugent Hopkins gliding over the line. Beautiful spin move, but his pass is off target. Hyman will follow up and look for the captain, McDavid. Out to the point, one-timer. And Bouchard had it stopped by Bobrovsky. Rebound McDavid. Ekholm's open. Now Bouchard again. Slide step to his right. Loads. Fires. Save Bobrovsky. And he'll cover with 13:06 to go in the first period. The Oilers have outshot the Panthers 5-1. Thus far, Bobrovsky has kept the Oilers at bay. But coming into this game, he'd given up 11 goals on his last 39 shots over a period of 97 minutes. Edmonton looking to keep those statistics intact and live for another day. That day would be Monday. But right now, we're in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. No score from sold-out Rogers Place. And this is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio Network.
Be a savvy Edmonton hotel shopper. Book through edmontonsbesthotels.com and receive up to $225 in cash rewards. There are over 50 member hotels to choose from offering their best value rates. edmontonsbesthotels.com. Rewards with every booking.
Even though your 20s are behind you, you still get to have firsts. Like the first time your knee hurts after a morning run. Or the first time.
Oh god, every single time this webcam always pushes that way because my cord is too short to connect to the computer over there. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you all for hanging out with us. Leilene Ramos, welcome to Insider. Thank you for joining us. Everyone, wow, look at this. We're at 402 likes. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well. And let's go Oilers. Looking good. Looking good. Anyways, I'm going to go back to the hockey. Getting ready for our intermission with Jordan and Sick Kids. Can't wait to have him on for a few minutes to discuss what they're going to be doing here in the very near future. So, cheers everybody. Hit that like button and we'll see you as well. Share, please, share. That's important. Let's get more people in the chat. We've already got 3,000 in here and no more ads till the second period. Let's go. Cheers everybody.
To choose from offering their best value rates. edmontonsbesthotels.com. Rewards with every booking.
You're listening to Oilers Hockey on 630 CHED and on the Radio Player Canada app.
The Edmonton Oilers playing their 5th elimination game of this 2024 postseason. And it's nice, Bob, when you've got Stuart Skinner, who's 4-0 with a save percentage of .928, and Connor McDavid, who, oh, by the way, happens to be the league's all-time leading scorer in elimination games with 23 points in 12. That's comforting when you've got the best offensive player and a goaltender who's come through in the clutch. What are your thoughts on Game 6 coming in?
Well, Florida's brought the physicality and some stuff after the whistles as well, and Evan Rodriguez going after Evan Bouchard. Something we didn't see at all in the Dallas series, but part of Florida's identity is their tenacity and aggressiveness. And, you know, they're a team that plays on the edge. And I think the player that they acquired that kind of changed the complexion of them.
Sam Bennett?
Well, Bennett and then obviously Matthew Tkachuk. Those two guys coming over from the Calgary Flames.
Well, I was thinking of some of the rough stuff.
Yeah, well.
And Sam Bennett.
He'll back it up, and Tkachuk will drag you into it. And you look, that whole line's got nasty early.
Face off left side of Sergei Bobrovsky. Edmonton a good start. 7 minutes in. The Oilers have permitted just one shot off the draw. The Panthers a chip up the left-hand glass. CC is able to maintain the offensive zone. You've got Foegele, Draisaitl, and Holloway out there. Panthers able to wrestle it free. Forsling right wing lead pass, and that was tipped in by Sam Reinhart. 57 goals during the regular season, but he's kind of cooled here. 1 in his last 7 games. Verhaeghe similarly turned it over. Pass up the seam. Draisaitl centering. One-timer score! Warren Foegele! It's Edmonton 1, Florida 0 in Game 6.
Well, a broken play on a turnover, an active stick in the neutral ice area, and it was a slow developing 3-on-2, and everybody wanted the Oilers' Leon Draisaitl to shoot the puck, and instead he found the open man, and that open man was the Edmonton Oilers' Warren Foegele, who fought through the check of Aaron Ekblad and deposits the puck into a yawning cage.
First goal so vital. Florida 9-2 when they get it. Not the same club when they fall behind. Foegele, his 3rd of the Stanley Cup playoffs and his 12th career playoff goal from Draisaitl at 7:27. And Edmonton has the first goal of Game 6. The Oilers in their 14 wins, Bob, and they're a good come-from-behind club, but they've only trailed in 33 minutes combined of their 14 wins. When they've won, they've been front-runners. Off the draw, it's Tarasenko, and Edmonton will have that opportunity here in Game 6. Hyman with a floater through the neutral zone. Montour, lead pass right-hand side. You hear the chants of Sergei reverberating throughout Rogers Place. McDavid able to settle it, and he'll dial it up left to right. Connor McDavid swooping, chipping off the glove of Ekman-Larsson. McDavid blistered one wide. Rebound taken. Ekman-Larsson launched it up the right-hand side. Tkachuk did not get a stick on it, and that's an icing call whistled against Florida. Not that you could ever hope to hear it in this building. Kulak, by the way, will get a second assist on the scoring play. And the crowd letting Edmonton know exactly what it thinks of this start.
Well, Kulak, Jack, we thought he was the Oilers' best defenseman in game number 5, and he stepped up and created the turnover that Draisaitl capitalized on and found an open Foegele.
Off the draw. And we're going to have a whistle and a late hit on Connor Brown as he got belted into the corner.
It's only going to be the one penalty, and it's going to be against the Oilers. And that is, given what we've seen in the first period, that is a relatively soft call from Stripes here.
I think Janmark was the guy they targeted as the...
And they are not going to give Florida a penalty for the late hit on Connor Brown. No chance. Florida's going to get a power play out of this. And they miss a high stick on Corey Perry. Neutral ice slash on Connor McDavid already. And Janmark saying, how's that a penalty?
13 Edmonton minor penalty slashing.
That's a tough call given what hasn't been called.
Florida 1 for 16, however, on the power play in this series, and 1 for 30 over the last 2 Stanley Cup Finals.
I mean, Sam Bennett comes.
Sam Bennett just steamrolled
after the whistle.
I mean, absolutely pulverized him.
And Janmark, obviously a critical penalty killer for the Oilers.
Face off right side of Stuart Skinner. Was Janmark who had a shorthanded goal and an assist in the first 8 minutes of Game 4 when this series really started to turn. Off the draw, Barkov wins it from Ryan, and here comes Florida's power play with Oliver Ekman-Larsson now on the first unit instead of Brandon Montour. Verhaeghe, who turned it over for the first goal, turns it over again, and right now he's really in a funk. He's -8 in this series. Oilers clear down the ice without Janmark up front. You've got McLeod challenging along with Vogel, Ekholm, and Ceci. It's sent in deep. Panthers swinging around. Verhaeghe left Apport. Steps up. Moves it to the corner. Little spin move. Reinhardt interior pass. Missing it. Kachuk high slot. Shot taken Ekman-Larsson. Redirected right corner. Chasing it Barkov. Held in Verhaeghe. Drag move to the middle. Lost the handle. And cleared by Cody Ceci. One move too many for Verhaeghe. Florida's passing on shots. And sometimes, Bob, you see that when your power play's been struggling. Ekman-Larsson. When Edmonton has had its lulls this year.
Same thing.
Kachuk in over the line. Left wing, centers. Quick shot. Tarasenko got it back. Ekman-Larsson. Back to Tarasenko, left circle. He'll shoot. And that went off his own man, Rodriguez. Might have caught a piece of Stuart Skinner. Hustling to the middle is Bennett. Tough pass. Tarasenko made a great play to keep it alive in the right circle. Now Bennett lunging with a half minute to go in the man advantage. Blind pass, broken up. Ekman-Larsson kept it alive momentarily, eventually slugged down the ice by Nugent Hopkins. And the Oiler penalty killers, 43 for their last 44. Trying to keep this 1-0 lead intact, 10 minutes in. Panthers shoot it in. Bennett had it knocked off his stick, Reinhardt. Interior pass, taking it away, Vogel. And the Oilers come away with it. Ryan McLeod with Edmonton set to go on full strength. The wrist shot, and he missed the net. Rebound taken by Florida's Aaron Ekblad. 9.5 to go. Lead pass, punch forward by Nick Cousins. The Panther power play dies. They're 1 for 17. Here's a clear down the middle, but it's on net. Bobrovsky will hand off to Mikkola. And here's the Bronx cheer from the 18,347 packed into Rogers Place. Bouchard to Kulak. Through the middle, McDavid. Out there with Draisaitl and Hyman off the successful Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. Drive Bouchard and the save made Bobrovsky. Rebound McDavid. Knocked off his stick. Here's Luo Sturinen. Building speed through the neutral zone, and he'll inadvertently put it out of play. 9:02 to go in the first period. Well, Florida head coach Paul Maurice felt like his club was confident, having won a pair of Game 6s, one at home and one in Boston. Well, right now, Edmonton, a different story. This city is different, and maybe the Oilers are a different hockey club. They're up 1-0 and having outshot the Panthers 8-1 through the first 11 minutes of this Game 6 Stanley Cup Final, with Edmonton looking to level the series. We're back in a moment with more first period play-by-play. The Oilers Radio Network.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150.
Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the hockey game. Hey, thanks for being here and catching the game with us. Appreciate it. But please hit that subscribe button as well. In game number 5, 70.5% of the viewers were not subscribed. How is that even possible? Thanks for being here. It's free. Just go down right there, right now. Hit that subscribe button. And please help grow this awesome community of Toronto sports fans so we can help change the world one single game at a time. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you guys real soon. See you in the chat.
Basement roof.
We'll fix it. Don't worry, babe.
And I might have horribly shrunk your lucky jersey.
Oh!
Life happens. Access Insurance can help. The save of the game is brought to you by Access Insurance. When Albertans need it most, they know they can count on the Access Insurance team for a huge save. It's easy to switch and save. Check out their Google reviews.
And visit accessinsurancegroup.com.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Sasha Barkov wins the faceoff in the neutral zone, and it's sent in deep by Nico Mikkola. Philip Broberg up the left-hand side with the Oilers leading 1-0 in Game 6. Warren Foegele from Draisaitl and Kulak 7 minutes in, and once again, Edmonton has the lead. Oilers have scored early in Games 4, 5, and 6, and have not trailed since losing Game 3, 4-3. Edmonton on the move through the neutral zone. Janmark, one-timer Broberg, and he flubbed it off the heel of his stick. Mikkola up the right-hand side. Rodriguez building speed. Drag move to his left, and then sliding it ahead for Barkov. Comes up ice. Reinhart wanted to set a screen, now peels off on a change. Ekman-Larsson put it down low, but Barkov failed to control, and it's golfed out successfully by Foegele with 8 minutes to play in this first period. And the Panthers trailing by a score of 1-0. Tarasenko up the right-hand side for Lundell. You can tell Tarasenko's experience, Bob. He's had a good series. I think he's played really well.
He's a smart player. He's always in the right spots. He's never afraid to shoot.
Foegele will send it in deep. Draisaitl off a clear, able to knock it down. Held onto it a shade too long, and now the Panthers rush over and try to muscle it free. 4 players grappling right at the red line, and it's Ceci who finally jousts it back into the Florida zone. Ekman-Larsson to Tarasenko, backhands it in, and he'll change. 7:25 to go in the first period. Edmonton leading 1-0. Here's Cody Ceci moving in left to right, batted down by Ekblad on a bouncing puck. He'll toss a spinner up through the middle, booted over by Stenlund to Nick Cousins, and he'll backhand it in. 50-50 jackpot, by the way, sitting at $5.6 million right now. Early bird prizing $2,000 at Safeway, $25,000 cash. Here's Hyman on an outlet, button hooking, dropping, Bouchard open, fake the slapper, now let a wrist shot fly, and that was blocked at the last moment. Centering pass, quick shot, snapped off the blocker of Bobrovsky by Nugent Hopkins, but that's where you want him shooting.
High blocker.
Here's McDavid taking a puck down low from Ekholm. He'll roll up top, high slot. McDavid spinning, waiting, shooting, and that was swallowed up top. Nick Cousins, the shot block, and Kevin Stenlund carefully will shoot it in at center, even as he was blasted by Evan Bouchard. Ekholm to recover the puck for the Oilers with 6.5 to go in the first period. Florida has 1 shot on net. Edmonton has 9. Lead pass up the left-hand side, and that'll be an icing whistled against Edmonton. They'll talk about it, but the officials appear to be emphatically signaling it was indeed icing, and a face-off coming to the right of Stuart Skinner.
Oilers got some calls in Game 5 in Florida. That's given. They haven't had one in this game. A couple of high stick, a reach, didn't get called. Florida got a power play that time. I think Perry thought he touched the puck. Linesmen were right there. Big draw here for Derek Ryan against the former teammate, Sam Bennett.
2 were teammates in Calgary. Ryan wins the face-off. Ekholm up the left-hand side. Corey Perry shovels it in. And after it will be Matthew Tkachuk taking off the puck. Ryan won a battle. Threw it in front, angled out. Broberg a shot, and that was off the blocker of Bobrovsky. Rebound, Nurse slid it wide, and coming off the end boards, the Panthers can't get there. Ryan poked it free. Corey Perry, sharp angle through the crease. Tkachuk another chance to clear, and finally it's forked back through the middle. Nurse tried to hit Perry on an outlet, and it eluded Corey Perry, and that turns into an icing call. That's a tough play. Nurse made the right play. I don't think Perry picked it up until late, and that's why the pass was not completed.
Tried to change his angle on his stick, couldn't knock it down, and now a huge draw back in the Oilers D-zone. This line has been out here for a while, but Henrique did get on the ice at center. He'll go up against Barkov.
Adam Henrique, solid addition, still has 3 goals and 6 points despite missing a handful of games in the early rounds. And he, along with Brown and Janmark, have been a revelation in terms of a spark plug line, so much so they've kind of elevated themselves in the lineup as a unit. Off the draw, Verhaeghe will maintain for now, but Henrique is able to muster a clear to Perry, who juggled and did not get it up the wall. Reverse to Broberg. He'll put it up to McLeod, and again, it doesn't exit the zone. Broberg still on it. Panthers try to burrow in, but neither Barkov nor Reinhart could make clean contact with a puck. Centering pass, Barkov did. Poke it free. Kulikov, Reinhart. Kulikov swings. Ekman-Larsson, a shot save. Skinner, rebound. Ekman-Larsson able to hold the zone in the high slot. Ekman-Larsson, tough pass. Verhaeghe has to fall back. But as this series has worn on, it seems like Ekman-Larsson has kind of been elevated. And Brandon Montour has taken a step back.
Wonder if Montour is playing with an injury, Jack.
Absolutely. At this time of year, Bob, it's the first day of summer. Almost everyone's banged up, and certainly that's a valid theory. Draisaitl swooping in, dishing off. Wrist shot Holloway, and he missed, going high blocker again. Now a dish for Foegele. Absorbs a check, absorbs another. Maintaining right corner. Now we're going to have a penalty. It's going to be a slash. I thought there might have been an initial call there, and indeed it was made. 2 minutes for slashing, and the Oilers already up 1-0, and having a power play that converted twice in Game 5. We'll get a look at getting a multi-goal lead in the first period of yet another elimination game. Edmonton's 5th, but the Oilers refuse to go quietly into the night. They're up in Game 6. This is 4 Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Look, I know this is radio, so it's hard to show you how much is on sale during the Big One clearance event at End of the Roll Flooring Centers, but it's a lot. Like this flooring, or this one, and all these. Yep, all at clearance pricing for a limited time. Now, you don't need to just imagine what it would look like, though. You can use our visualizer at endoftheroll.com to upload a picture of your room to see the flooring in your actual home. Try it. Find something you love, then get a great deal on it at the Big One clearance event on now at End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
When you play the largest 50-50 in sports, everybody wins. Your support makes all of oil country a better place. A place of kindness, caring, and compassion. Uplifting those in need, changing lives forever. The largest 50-50 pot in professional sports is currently growing by the second. Get your tickets now at EdmontonOilers.com and help change lives today. Maybe even your own.
AGLC license number 645766.
Pizza 73, the official pizza.
Hey Insiders, thanks for joining us for Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Check out the link that is pinned at the top of the chat as well as in the description. Go take a look at it. It's our Tiltify campaign with sick kids. Let's make a difference in our community. This amazing group of people. Thank you all for being here and hanging out with us. Have some fun in the chat. Donate if you can. Thank you all. Back to the hockey. We'll see you in the chat.
You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, Hyman, McDavid, and Bouchard on the Atco Energy power play unit. Draisaitl noticeably with a jump here early in Game 6. Looking for his first power play goal in 15 games. He's still tied for the league lead in the playoffs with 6 with his teammate Zach Hyman. At 5-on-5, Draisaitl has had some extra pop tonight. Here he dishes off to McDavid after a length of the ice clear. McDavid to his left, poke check by Ekblad. Recovered to Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard will give it right back to Nugent Hopkins. Left point in front of the Florida bench. Now it's McDavid on the half wall, pursued by Ekblad. Nugent Hopkins centering pass. Draisaitl lined it up. McDavid back to Draisaitl, right circle. Bouchard. Draisaitl right face-off done. Bouchard, it's like Edmonton sensing Draisaitl might be ready to explode here. McDavid, Hyman. McDavid, top of the left circle, looking for Draisaitl. Saucers it over. Top of the right circle, twisted back. McDavid, back to Draisaitl, right face-off dot. Lingering down low, McDavid. In the high slot, Bouchard. Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, left circle, high slot, Bouchard. Draisaitl one-timer and a scoop save made by Bobrovsky as that was ticketed lower right corner of the net. 3.5 to go in the first period. 1-0 Edmonton, 54 seconds left in the penalty to Luo Sturinin for slashing.
I think on the Oilers power play, the shot that's there the most, I think he's over pursuing and overplaying Draisaitl. I think he's really great to his left. Nugent Hopkins is
I was going to say, high blocker.
High blocker, and it's got to come off the left hash, which is to the right of Sergei Bobrovsky.
Off the draw, Kulikov. to Reinhart. Florida won another face-off, and it's launched up the right-hand side. And this was so pivotal early in the series for Florida on the PK. They were able to win a ton of face-offs. Here's Bouchard dropping it off. Draisaitl curls it over to McDavid, in over the line, puts the brakes on top of the right circle, lifts back to Bouchard, and then a poor pass chases Draisaitl out of the zone. 3 minutes to go in the first period. 1-0 Edmonton. Here's a drop by Nugent-Hopkins to McDavid. Clubbed off his stick by Barkov. Left it for Kulikov. Did not get it out of the zone. Barkov made another steal. And this time he'll do it himself, sending it down the left-hand side. That's superb work by Barkov. Bouchard to Draisaitl. Edmonton in the midst of a change and an offside delivery to McLeod left wing.
Oh, that was onside. I'm surprised they called that offside.
2:43 to play in the first period. Nearly letter perfect for Edmonton. The shot's 11-2. The Panthers have 2 shots.
Just too deselective on the power play, Jack. You got to just put it to the net, create some chaos.
You mean in that opening 40 seconds?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
They completed 14 passes. Complete 4 or 5, then shoot the puck. Make them work and outgrind you and outbeat you down low. You've got the extra man.
So what you're saying is this is not Gene Hackman's Hickory Huskers. You don't need the extra passes.
No.
Off the draw. Philip Broberg back behind the Edmonton net. Darnell Nurse scooping behind the Florida defense. Matthew Tkachuk up to Ekman-Larsson. Henrique tracking him. Left wing lead for Evan Rodriguez out of his reach. Darnell Nurse plowed into by Rodriguez, and now the Panthers look to take control, but the Oilers won a battle, and it was Janmark again to Henrique, and he'll shoot it in with 2 minutes to go in the period. And the Florida Panthers still stuck on 2 shots on net. Panthers with Rodriguez being draped by Henrique. Kulak forced Bobrovsky to come out and play it with a feed behind the net, and a delivery by Ekman-Larsson picked up by Sam Bennett and shot off the stick of Ceci. Stuart Skinner shovels it ahead. That's going to be picked off and turned back by Tarasenko behind the net. Luostarinen just out of the penalty box. Tried to shovel it in front. And now rebound Lundell. Couldn't find it. Cody Ceci. Luostarinen there. Forced it up the left-hand side. Derek Ryan dashing down the left wing boards. He's going to be cut off. Tarasenko swings it around the boards. Luostarinen shot in by Lundell. Big hop off the end boards. Matthias Ekholm able to grab it for Edmonton and launch it down the middle. This will be an icing call against Edmonton with 1:11 to play in a first period that has seen Edmonton outshoot Florida 11-2. And on Warren Fogel's third goal of the playoffs from Kulak and Draisaitl, the Oilers have the lead in Game 6. The only other teams that have forced a Game 7 down 3-0 in the Cup Final, 45 Red Wings who lost, and the 42 Toronto Maple Leafs who beat the Red Wings, and are the only team of the 28 that have fallen behind 3-0 to win the Stanley Cup. Tossed in deep. And the Oilers off the neutral zone draw. Vogel trying to get possession, can't do it. But a steal by Draisaitl. Bouchard over to Ekholm. Left wing blast wide. Rebound ricocheted out in front. And the Panthers' Sam Reinhart, second effort, can't get it out. That's a lazy clear by Reinhart. And he gets bailed out by Barkov, who...
He's bailing everybody. He's played great so far.
I was going to say, Barkov is back on his game. If Draisaitl's back on his game, Barkov most certainly is for Florida. And now the Panthers guilty of an icing call. 36 seconds to go in the first period. The problem is, from Paul Maurice's standpoint, is Barkov's not getting any help. The Panthers have done nothing offensively in this first period. And that's a credit to Edmonton as well.
Kept them outside. Got a little bit of time here. 35 seconds left. Got their top line on the ice. Florida's line's been out here for the last 40 seconds or so.
Reinhart against McDavid on the faceoff. Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid's wingers. Ekholm and Bouchard, and McDavid wins the draw. Here's Aaron Ekblad rolling over. Tried to launch it down the middle. Nugent-Hopkins stole it. Hyman left corner. Reinhart freed it up. Barkov able to shield Nugent-Hopkins from the puck long enough to hit center, and then he coughed it up. Nugent-Hopkins down the middle, and Hyman unable to come up with it cleanly. Absorbed a hip check from Ekblad, and that was a painful delivery. Barkov trying to freeze it with 10 seconds to go. Skip free. McDavid doesn't want any part of it. Here's Bouchard, right wing shot, and that was ricocheted just over the net at the horn. A terrific first period turned in by the Edmonton Oilers on home ice. Out shooting the Florida Panthers 11-2, and in their bid to stay alive for a third consecutive game in a Stanley Cup final, the Oilers, they'd be hard-pressed to play any better than that. They outshoot the Panthers 11-2, and Warren Fogle has put Edmonton on top. 1-0 in Game 6. The Panthers have a propensity to start slow. They're now -6 in the first period in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That may work against some teams. Against Edmonton, at least thus far in the Stanley Cup playoffs, it has not. Alongside Brett Kulak, here's Brendan Escott.
Yeah, Brett, just analysis from your point of view on why you were able to settle down so early in a game that has such big ramifications around it.
Yeah, it's a big game, but you know what? We've been in this situation lots, and we built for this moment the last couple games, and I thought we just did a good job of settling in. We knew the energy was going to be high, and it was everything we expected, and you know what? We just did a good job staying composed, keeping pucks out of the middle, and you know, we built ourselves a goal there.
What's the key to limiting the shots the way that you guys did there in that opening 20?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think anytime we've had issues this series, it's when we're feeding their offense. So I think it's just a matter of you know, simplifying and just playing a really good, strong, connected game.
Thanks, Brett.
Okay, thanks.
Jack?
Strong, connected, absolutely. Edmonton, a superior first period. The Oilers 4-0 when facing an elimination, and as Chris Knobloch pointed out, they've also been good in closeout games, knocking off LA and Dallas and not giving those teams second life. They didn't give Florida any life in that first period, and I thought Brett Kulak is bang on when he says, as long as we don't feed their offense, we'll take our chances.
The only thing I'd say is the power play. You know, they executed a lot of passes. The ice is better here. I know Bobrovsky's good. It kind of looked to me like they were trying to set Leon up instead of maybe just taking what's there. But you're up 1-0. You outshoot a team 11-2 at home. Florida certainly was physical in the first 8 or 9 minutes of that period. I think Edmonton did a good job withstanding that, and obviously capitalizing on the neutral ice giveaway, and Kulak stepping up and picking a pass off, and then Draisaitl going the other way, setting up Warren Fogle. It's giving Edmonton the lead. They deserve to be up 1-0 in this game, but they got to know that Florida's going to bring more juice as this game wears on.
This city has never seen an opponent raise the Stanley Cup on its ice, and opponents are 0-3 and endeavoring to try to do so. And I would say in that first period, it didn't sound like they had any interest in seeing that streak come to an end. The atmosphere electric.
Yeah, you emphasized the word opponents because, as you know, the bubble a couple of years ago, but they weren't playing the Oilers. It was a Stanley Cup final.
And there were no fans.
There was no fans. And I just think of, you know, let's see what Edmonton can do here in period number 2. But Chris Knobloch kind of rolled the lines over, and he got everybody kind of involved. And I think Montour is a guy they're going to have to find a way to target a bit here. To me, he looks labored. He looks compromised. And, I mean, he's a pretty special player. He had a 73-point season last year in the back end. So Barkov was terrific for Florida that period.
But outside of that, nothing.
Draisaitl was on it for Edmonton.
And he promised to be so. He was quite accountable. And what did you take away from his comments before the game, Bob, and maybe enlighten some of our listeners who may have missed him?
So Leon, nobody was being hypercritical of him. They just asked him point blank, what do you think of your play? And he goes, well, obviously, you know I can elevate the level of my performance, and I need to get myself going in this series. And if Edmonton can get Draisaitl on a separate line going with Connor McDavid on it, you know, that'll certainly increase their chances to extend this series and get to a Game 7 with a chance at history. We're not surprised by Leon. We know how accountable he is. He'll never sit there and make excuses, injuries. What did he say earlier when somebody asked him if he was injured? He said everybody's hurt come this time later.
He doesn't want to hear it, and he didn't want to hear it when he had the high ankle 2 years ago either.
So there you go.
Edmonton 1, Florida no score. That's your opening 20 minutes. Reed Wilkins, Rob Brown on the other side. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Oilers Radio Network.
Blue-collar work deserves big-dollar perks. Get a heavy wallet with Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals is hiring heavy equipment technicians, maintenance supervisors, PM servicemen, maintenance coordinators, and pretty much every other position that makes Alberta go. We help move the earth that makes Alberta grow. So why not work for a company that makes your bank account grow too? Visit heavymetalequipment.ca to find your new career. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals, helping you move the earth.
It's our YEG with 630.
I can, Mike.
Accident-prone thespians battle to make it through their final curtain call with hilarious consequences as the Citadel Theatre presents The Play That Goes Wrong, July 6th through August 4th. Enter to win tickets at 630ched.com. Then get revved up for the Western Cup as the Northern Thunder late models hit Rad Torque Raceway for 2 full nights of family fun July 5th and 6th. For your chance to score tickets, visit 630ched.com.
For details on these and more events, visit 630.
All right, what's up, Insiders? I am here with a special guest from Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. Jordan, thank you so much for joining us. This is unreal, a dream come true, and a testament to what a community can do. I really hope that they can hear you. I'm going to play with the audio here as it goes, but thank you for joining us, sir.
Mike, thanks for having me. Everyone from the Toronto Sports Insider community, hey, it's Jordan from Sick Kids. Let us know in the chat if you can't hear us. We'll get that sorted out. But yeah, Mike, thanks for having me. We're stoked to be here. We're stoked to be part of the Stanley Cup playoffs with your community.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think the beginning part of it came through. So if you want to repeat that one more time, that'd be awesome.
100%, Mike. No, and I just want to say thank you to this Toronto Sports Insider community for having Sick Kids as part of you enjoying the playoffs. We're stoked to be a part of it, and we're really grateful for your support. And we're loving that we can be part of the end of the hockey season. We finish up Game 6 and hopefully head into Game 7.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's 1-0. We got the lead right now. The Oilers are looking good, so hopefully they can keep it up here in the rest of this game and bring us a Game 7. Make everybody get back on the plane and travel all the way back to Florida. Wow, 4,565 people in the chat. Thank you guys for all being here. Please hit the share button. All right, hit that share button. Tell your friends to get in here and listen to what Jordan has to say here about Sick Kids. This is absolutely amazing. This community got together, and I mean, it's an absolute dream come true for me. Thank you to every single person who left a super chat in this run, the Leafs run, albeit very short. And thank you to Joe Bowen for helping us and giving us that read there for the donations. So. Jordan, I'm gonna wrap this up, man. If there's anything, if you could just add a couple words to us and take us home.
100%. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, everyone, just as a reminder, my name is Jordan. I'm from Sick Kids. Sick Kids is Canada's largest children's hospital charity. And again, wanted to say thank you and thank you to the Toronto Sports Insider community for supporting Sick Kids during the playoffs. You know, children are our future, and with your support, we're going to heal that future. Mike has the Sick Kids donation link pinned in the chat. Enjoy the rest of Game 6, and let's bring that cup back to Canada, shall we?
Heck yeah, let's do it. That's where it belongs, Jordan. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. We'll take it back to the hockey. Don't forget, like, subscribe, click that link, and let's go make a difference and help Sick Kids Hospital right here from Toronto Sports Insider. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Okay, perfect.
another play and another pass, and they'll stay in the offensive zone for 45 seconds to a minute. It gets down, then they get it for another 45 seconds to a minute. But with their aggressiveness, it takes away that easy pass where Connor sees he skates around, throws it back door to Leon. There's the one-timer. Down low, Hyman walks out and takes a look. The aggressiveness takes away the Oilers' time and space. The Oilers with no time and space. Now they've got to think quicker, and they're capable of, and they will get one chance. But when you're passive against the Oilers' power play, you're giving up multiple chances. When you're aggressive, you're giving up one, maybe two. So the Oilers have to be just a little more just a little stronger when they do get their chance, that they have to bury those because there's not a whole lot. Both penalty killing units have been excellent this entire series.
Okay, the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation 50-50 jackpot is at $5.9 million. The jackpot is the jackpot draw at 11 p.m. following the end of the Stanley Cup Finals. So hopefully Monday night. There's also a bonus jackpot that's over $6 million. That's going to be drawn on June 26th. Of course, this is all in benefit of the Oilers Community Foundation. It supports Albertans battling cancer, kids with critical illness, animal shelters, food security, military personnel. There's an early bird draw at 7:30 for $2,000 for Safeway, and at 8 p.m. for $25,000 cash. Oilers leading the Panthers 1-0 after the first period in Game 6. Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
Portage College graduates are incredibly employable. How does Portage know? 99% of employers surveyed said they would hire a Portage grad. Get career ready at Portage College. Learn more by visiting portagecollege.ca.
There's only one line of trucks that's outsold all others for 58 years. Only one with the available Power Boost hybrid engine on select models that delivers performance and efficiency. It's the truck that all others are measured by. You know the one. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Right now, lease the 2024 F-150 STX with black appearance package at 2.49% APR for up to 24 months with $4,800 down. That's just $228 bi-weekly. Visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
When the Oilers are on the ice, the big hits are a part of the game. But they shouldn't be a part of your drive. If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown & Associates and their over 200 years of combined injury law experience help you. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown & Associates is ready to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen...
Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the hockey game. Hey, thanks for being here and catching the game with us. Appreciate it. But please hit that subscribe button as well. In game number 5, 70.5% of the viewers were not subscribed. How is that even possible? Thanks for being here. It's free. Just go down right there, right now. Hit that subscribe button. And please help grow this awesome community of Toronto sports fans so we can help change the world one single game at a time. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you guys real soon. See you in the chat.
Aiming to have Notley give her speech during the second intermission of tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game between the Oilers and Panthers. News on demand at 630ched.com.
Chemco is building industry across Canada, and now they're on the lookout for civil and electrical project managers, estimators, and superintendents to join their dedicated team. Why Chemco? Because Chemco cares. They put people first, offering top-tier compensation packages and an unwavering commitment to safety. At Chemco, safety isn't just a priority, it's everybody's business. Ready to be part of a team that truly values you? Visit chemco.com/careers today.
Live sky high with remarkable units for rent and for sale at Sky Signature Suites. Currently offering amazing incentives on 1- and 2-bedroom rentals featuring designer finishes, resort-like amenities, and breathtaking views. All of this and more within the heart of Ice District, Edmonton's best address for shopping, dining, entertainment, and fun. Visit SkySignatureSuites.com and make your home high above the ordinary.
At Northern Lakes College, students work, raise their family, and complete their certificate, diploma, or partnership degree. With NLC's supported distance learning model, you can do it all in a flexible online classroom. Programs in academic upgrading, business, health, human services, resource technology, university studies, and more, including a wide range of courses available through continuing education. Skate into your new career in a learning environment that works for you. NorthernLakesCollege.ca. Everywhere you need them to be.
At the intermission, brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Time to update the scoreboard, presented by Pizza 73, official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. Rough ride for the Blue Jays tonight, trailing the Guardians 7-1 in the 7th inning. CFL, BC leading Winnipeg 16-7, about 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Tomorrow on 6:30, Ched, countdown to kickoff at 3:30, game at 5. Elks at Argos. International soccer to tell you about at Euro. Ukraine beat Slovakia 2-1. Austria beat Poland 3-1. And Netherlands and France playing to a 0-0 draw. Copa America tonight, it's going to be Peru against Chile. All right, Warren Fogle has the game's only goal. The Oilers are coming out for the second period of Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final with a 1-0 lead on the Florida Panthers. Jack and Bob are coming up. Fort Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
At the intermission has been brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
The Brick and the Edmonton Oilers both started right here in Edmonton back in the 70s. And we know nothing is more exciting than playoff hockey. We're next to you in the stands, painted blue and orange, cheering our hearts out. And when we're not there, we're in our stores, making sure you have everything you need to cheer them on in your home. We're proud of this city and its rich sports history. The Brick, supporting the Edmonton Oilers and fans right from the beginning.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for joining us for another NHL Stanley Cups. All right, that was funny. I'm just going to leave it in there. Thanks for joining us for the Stanley Cup Finals, game number 6. Hit that like button if you have not done so already. That helps bring more people into the chat. And another way to get more people in the chat, hit that share button and send it out to all the social networks that you can. Hockey boards, sports boards, chat groups, your friends, your enemies, whatever. Get more people here in the chat. It makes it more fun. And let's cheer on the Oilers. And Canada, go. Oilers, go. See you guys in the chat.
William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they're the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You're listening to Oilers Hockey on 630 Chad and on the Radio Player Canada app.
Dominant first period turned in by the Edmonton Oilers, who throttled Florida's attack. And I put that in quotation marks. Just 2 first-period shots for the slow-starting Panthers, who've gotten themselves into trouble in games 4 and 5, giving up shorthanded goals. Florida got behind 3-0 in game 5. Obviously belted around the building in an 8-1 loss in game 4. And now 1-0 Edmonton as we start the second period. We're underway. Adam Henrique winning the opening face-off. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you from our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth high atop Rogers Place. Sold out, of course, for this game 6 of the final as Edmonton looks to make history. Janmark will chip it inside the Florida blue line. Ekblad to Gustav Forsling. The only first period goals scored by Fogle, 7.5 minutes in. Assists to Draisaitl and Kulak. Both teams 0 for 1 in the power play. And again, the Panthers mustered just 2 shots on net. Ekholm works it up the right-hand side. Connor Brown reverses right back to Ekholm. He'll club it up the left-hand side. Waiting for it is Janmark, driving into the net. Centering pass, reach shot, score! 2-0 Edmonton. What a finish! puts it away, and the Oilers go up by 2 in Game 6.
Very similar to Edmonton's second goal against Florida in game number 4. A hard rim around the boards, and the Oilers stretched the offside winger, and that was Matthias Janmark who straddled the blue line. It's going to be Ekholm, hard rim around the boards, the exact same combination on the scoring. Henrique with the goal from Janmark and Ekholm as Janmark stayed on side, and it's 2-0 Oilers.
Henrique's fourth, and once again, the Henrique, Janmark, Brown line give Edmonton a spark. And the crowd just as revved up as ever. First minute, second period, Oilers go up 2-0. Here's the Panthers on the counterattack, and a rebound score for Sasha Barkov quiets the crowd. And Florida does what it did in Game 5, a quick response. Henrique scores 46 seconds into the period, and Barkov comes right back, funneling in his own rebound just 10 seconds later, 2-1.
I think it was a turnover there by Broberg in the neutral ice area, and then Edmonton got chasing, and Verhaeghe swept it in front. And they double-team the Oilers in front of the goal, and Barkov, who's been terrific. Now, what's going on here? Are they looking at a potential offside? I don't think so. I think that play's onside. Long discussion here. Don't think so. It's a good goal, and not a good sequence for Edmonton. Can't have that happen 2 games in a row, and it just did.
And 3 times combined. Because the Panthers got a couple quick ones, and now they are going to look at it.
Edmonton is challenging the play to determine if it was offside prior to the goal.
It looked like they were going to restart there, but now we will have a coach's challenge.
And we're at the mercy here, Jack, because we don't have all the camera angles.
Barkov from Verhaeghe. Chris Knobloch this year on challenges 4 out of 6. Now, if this is an unsuccessful challenge, not only does the goal count, but Florida goes on the power play with a chance to tie the game. 2-0 lead remains intact. It's Reinhardt.
That's onside. That's going to be a good goal. Unless they're saying the puck went outside the line. To me, that's a good... He's onside. To me, he's onside.
I don't know. It came back. Did it graze the blue line after it came back in?
This is really tight. I think this goal is going to count, and I think Florida's going to get a power play. And
if it counts, it's Barkov from Verhaeghe. Oh, boy, that is tight. I mean, there's a freeze frame from along the blue line where Barkov's stick is obstructing the puck, and therefore you can't see white. On the overhead, as Bob mentioned, it is so airtight. This is where you need the combination of angles, and we don't have that.
We don't have that. My initial gut feel all along was this was a good goal.
Oh, boy, that is so tight.
Ugh. This is now a long delay here.
Yeah, they're having trouble. And again, it was called a goal on the ice. Here we go, Chris Rooney.
After video review, at 19:09, the play was offside, no goal.
Wow. Wow. That is as close could be. Noah Siegel, part of the Oilers coaching staff, Jack, along with Mike Finelli. He's the video coordinator, and they get it right. And the Oilers dodge a bullet. And now a chance to deal with what's happened here.
Well, what's happened is an offside. I mean, you don't have to deal with anything.
But you got yourself a 2-0 lead and a reprieve with them gaining some momentum. Back.
However, briefly. McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. And Florida has to be somewhat deflated after that. Off the draw, Ekholm from Bouchard. I mean, that was really tight, and you needed to overturn it, and they did. Bouchard will swing it around the boards. Dmitry Kulikov in the corner. Ekman Larson snatched away. Zach Hyman rolls up top, shoots, and a block shot. And the Panthers send it up the right-hand boards for Tarasenko. He'll rifle it in. Bouchard reverses back to Ekholm up the right-hand side. You've got Hyman. He got checked by Forsling, and now McDavid is off and running. Driving in, and a good play by Lundell to stifle McDavid's momentum. He was basically playing defense there and was able to poke check it off McDavid's stick. Funneled back in by Hyman and recovered by Lundell, and the Panthers left to right. Forsling up the gut. Shoveled in by Carter Verhaeghe, who turned it over on Edmonton's first goal. Foegele from Draisaitl. Kulak had a hand in that goal and sends it up for Dylan Holloway. He'll shoot it in. Bobrovsky turned it over. Foegele. Draisaitl spins, and that centering pass is off target. And here comes Carter Verhaeghe in over the line, right wing. Waits for a teammate. Moves it. Shot. Saves Skinner. And the rebound covered. He stopped Gustav Forsling and was able to control the rebound. 17:49 to go in the second period. Edmonton's 2-0 lead remains intact as the Oilers look to even this Stanley Cup final at 3 games apiece.
Oilers got caught reaching there a little bit defensively after Leon Draisaitl tried to reverse behind the back pass from behind the goal. Don't beat yourself. They started the transition the other way for the Florida Panthers, and they got a good look out of it.
Bennett between Tkachuk and Rodriguez. Face off to Skinner's right-hand side. And off the draw, it's won cleanly. Lifted down the left-hand side. Derek Ryan won the draw. He makes a steal and then coughed it up in the neutral zone. Panthers charge back in, right-hand side, Rodriguez. Put it behind the net. Cutting it off is Mikkola. Down low, Tkachuk. Disrupted an outlet pass, and now the Panthers look to tug it free. Oilers eventually work it back to center. Brandon Montour to Sam Bennett. And Rodriguez will carry it into the zone. From the right half board, snapped it across. Long pass for Kulikov. Not in a shooting position. And it's swung back to Montour. Behind the net, Matthew Tkachuk. Looked in front. Elected not to move the puck to Lomberg. And instead out to Montour. Now Sam Bennett with Lomberg in the slot. Shoots high and wide. And Skinner will lay the leather to it with 3 minutes gone by in this second period. And it's 2-0 for Edmonton, and after they review, they'll take the shot they just credited Florida with off the board. That was nowhere near the net. Skinner wanted to put it away, and he did. And now some pushing and shoving, and we're going to have Tkachuk sent off again, him and Janmark. And in my mind, Bob, that doesn't help the Florida Panthers. I'm not saying Janmark isn't a good player for Edmonton, but Matthew Tkachuk is supposed to be what you would term a driver for this Florida Panthers squad, and him being in the penalty box for 2 minutes doesn't help Florida.
Janmark won't back down from Matthew Tkachuk. Janmark has fought Max Domi this season, who can flat out fight, and did quite fine.
Florida 19, Edmonton 13.
And who did he open up the windmill on? Tkachuk or Janmark?
Trying to remember. He surprised us.
Yeah, he threw like 8 right hands in a row and just won a fight convincingly. And it wasn't just a guy. 3 minutes gone by, second period. Edmonton up 2-0. And we'll saw it off and skate 4-on-4. If Game 7 is required, it'll be played Monday night. Bob and I will have it for you from Amerant Bank Arena. Monday night, 6:20 Mountain Time. It's always a 6:20 Mountain Time start for the Stanley Cup Final.
This is interesting here. The Oilers have not elected to put McDavid and Draisaitl together. Draisaitl against Reinhart and Barkov.
Kulak and Ceci defensively. Hyman is Draisaitl's sidecar here, which means we may see McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins. Here's a puck poked free into the slot and knocked away from Reinhart. Draisaitl trying to chase it down. Reinhart was drafted ahead of Leon Draisaitl. Lead pass right wing side, and now taking it hard to the net is Zach Hyman. Reinhart drafted 2nd overall by Buffalo in 2014. Draisaitl went 1 pick later. Here's a shot by Draisaitl, high slot to save Bobrovsky. The rebound sitting there and scooted by Barkov over to Ekblad, who was the 1st overall pick of that 2014 draft. Sam Bennett went 4th. Here's Reinhart shooting wide, attacking Stuart Skinner from the left side. He'll swing it around the boards. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. 4 minutes gone by in this second period. 2-0 Edmonton in Game 6. Reinhart a shot. That did not make its way through. A block shot by Bouchard ahead to Connor McDavid. He'll challenge Montour. Bobrovsky fumbled the puck away. It remains free for a moment. Ekman-Larsson pinned McDavid against the end boards, and here's Montour to Reinhart. Back to Montour at the Edmonton line. A shot, glove save Skinner, and he'll freeze it.
That was a trip. I mean,
4.5 gone by in the second period. 2-0 Edmonton. You're talking about Montour on McDavid.
Yeah. Leon trying to fight through a check of Ekblad, and then a long-range bomber and looking for a deflection and fighting it off was Bobrovsky.
And Forsling almost kicked it into his own net as he was engaged with Hyman in front. They have put Florida's 4th shot on board. Of course, that was the one Skinner just stopped. Lundell will take the draw against McDavid to Skinner's left. 42 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Tkachuk and Janmark in the box. Off the draw, here's Verhaeghe taking it behind the Edmonton net, trying to protect, rolled it out. Forsling sent it down low. That'll be gobbled up off the end boards and ushered up the left-hand side by Broberg. Held in by Ekblad. Broberg able to regain the puck behind the net. Off to Nurse. Hesitated for a moment, got it through Ekblad, and this will sail just wide of the net and turn into an icing call against Edmonton as Bobrovsky let it clip the side of the goal. And Florida will get an offensive zone draw here with 16 seconds left in the 4-on-4. The Oilers lead the Panthers 2-0, 5 minutes into the second period of Game 6.
Now Bennett, an important draw against Connor McDavid. And the guy that got out there with him, Rodriguez, he's been terrific in this series.
By far Florida's best player. 4 goals, 6 points, plus 7 coming in. But the Panthers haven't done much offensively of anything here in Game 6. Off the draw, Sam Bennett. Top of the left circle against Nugent-Hopkins. Down Rodriguez to Mikkola. Juggled. Gave it back to Bennett. Dragged around McDavid. Tried to center. That went off Broberg's skate and sailed down the ice. Edmonton will change. Penalties are over. 5-on-5. Here's Montour in over the line. And offside will be whistled against Florida with 14:42 to go in the second period. And the Oilers leading the Panthers 2-0 in Game 6. Again, a series recap. Florida shut out Edmonton 3-0 in Game 1, followed it up with a 4-1 decision on home ice in Game 2. Came to Edmonton, beat the Oilers 4-3, led 4-1 entering the third period. Edmonton got 2 on Bobrovsky, and that appeared to turn the tide because Edmonton came out, pounded Florida 8-1 in Game 4, and followed it up with a 5-3 victory in Sunrise on Tuesday night, bringing us to Friday's Game 6. Monday will be Game 7. Oilers neutral zone draw, Kulak to Ceci. As Edmonton looks to become the second team in the history of the game to rally from 3-0 down in the Stanley Cup Final, and only the 5th team ever in any round. Here's Corey Perry. Sent in deep. Perry against Kevin Stenlund. Moves it to Ryan McLeod. Out to Kulak, took his eye off on it. And this will sail into the corner. Stuart Skinner to handle it for the Oilers. Snapped it up to McLeod. Turned it over. Then regained Ryan Lomberg. In on McLeod with Stenlund alongside. Kulak able to take it and move for Cody Ceci. Center ice, Brown protecting against first Lomberg and now Barkov bearing down on Connor Brown. Kulak launches one down the middle, fielded on one bounce flawlessly by Forsling. Reinhart to Barkov, who thought he had scored earlier in this second period, only to see it taken off the board for an offside. Shot Forsling left point, that was blocked. And the Oilers break out. Here's Janmark in over the line, offside. Connor Brown left wing. 6 1/2 gone by in this second period. More than 26 minutes having been played in Game 6. And the Oilers, known for their high-octane offense, have limited the Florida Panthers to a grand total of 4 shots on net. As a result, it's Edmonton 2. Florida nothing. This is Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final in Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio Network.
Hey parents, do you work in downtown Edmonton? Childcare is hard to find, but at Kepler Academy, inside Sun Life Place, we still have some space for children 12 months to 6 years old. Located at 101 23 Hull Street, Kepler Academy Sun Life Place is an award-winning early learning and childcare provider, voted Edmonton's top choice for 4 years in a row. Visit KeplerAcademy.ca. Mention this ad and your registration fees will be waived.
Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the hockey game. Hey, thanks for being here and catching the game with us. Appreciate it. But please hit that subscribe button as well. In game number 5, 70.5% of the viewers were not subscribed. How is that even possible? Thanks for being here. It's free. Just go down right there, right now. Hit that subscribe button. And please help grow this awesome community of Toronto sports fans so we can help change the world one single game at a time. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you guys real soon. See you in the chat.
Day. With over 65 years in the industry, no cleaning challenge is too big or too small. From national retailers and commercial spaces to small offices and entertainment centers like Rogers Place, let Scandinavian take the worry off your cleaning program. Visit Scandinavian.ca to learn more. Scandinavian Building Services. Our reputation is spotless.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
2-0 hockey game in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. 6 1/2 gone by in this second period. Warren Foegele now with 2 goals, 4 points in his last 4 games. Opened the scoring 7.5 minutes into the hockey game. And then inside the first minute of this second period, Adam Henrique tacked on another one. It's Edmonton 2. It's Florida nothing in Game 6. Draisaitl moved off the face-off dot, replaced by Holloway. Neutral zone draw, and Holloway wins it for Edmonton. The big story is the Oilers just suffocating Florida's offense. Fired in by Ekholm. Draisaitl shovels down low. Montour unable to get it out. Protecting in the corner and dropping is Holloway for Ekholm. Tried to slither it through traffic. Tarasenko broke it up the right-hand side. Luostarinen could not dance around Ekholm. Here's Leon Draisaitl. Puts it in deep. After it is Mikkola. Right side, you've got Luostarinen. Digging after it and forced back the other way by Foegele. Up the left-hand side, Draisaitl. And that went through Holloway. And the Panthers able to roll up ice with it. Tarasenko. Luostarinen. And he'll bang it down low for Tarasenko. Barkov with the puck for Florida. Forsling across to Ekblad. A shot. And that sailed wide of Stuart Skinner. Rebound Bouchard. Up the middle, Forsling. Snapped it right into the waiting glove of Skinner. And now we have Draisaitl slightly hobbled on the ice. They whistled it dead as a result. They check him. He appears to be okay.
He got hit hard twice in that shift. Tried to gain the zone entry, and they took his feet from under him. And then he got belted as Bouchard flipped the puck up the middle of the ice.
But he didn't look too much the worse for wear coming off, Bob. Face off to Skinner's right-hand side. Foegele and Henrique with the goals, and Edmonton leading by 2 with Derek Ryan opposite Alexander Barkov on the face-off dot to the right of Stuart Skinner. Ryan off the draw. Henrique comes into crowd. It's forced back behind the net. Darnell Nurse lobs it down the ice. Did he put too much air on it? Forsling turned, trying to draw the icing call. It was not awarded. Up the left-hand side, an attempted clear. Verhaeghe gave it away. Janmark wraparounds, tried to set up Connor Brown, and that was broken up. Boy, Carter Verhaeghe looks like a shell of himself right now. He's just got nothing going on for Florida. Sam Reinhart up the right-hand side. He's probably in that group as well. Ekblad gets it back from Forsling. Right side for Reinhart. Brushed in deep. Here's Skinner. Turned it over. Reinhart tried to catch him napping, but missed the net. Mikkola put it behind, looking for Bennett. He collided with Nurse, went down in a heap. Now Verhaeghe tried to free it up into the slot, but Nugent Hopkins was there to gather. He'll skate away from Nico Mikkola. Mikkola got right into Nugent Hopkins, forced a giveaway. Rodriguez gave it up, and a quick shot sent wide by Matthew Tkachuk. Another shot deflected wide by Rodriguez. I was surprised Rodriguez did not pull the trigger there. Here's Sam Bennett to Rodriguez. But when you're struggling offensively, perhaps you do get a little overly selective. Nugent Hopkins over the line. Tried to nudge it ahead for McDavid. Too much traffic there. Got it back to him eventually behind the net, but McDavid erased by Kulikov. Sam Bennett dashing over, and a nice play to keep it in by Nugent Hopkins. Now McDavid, another centering pass. This one intercepted and snapped off the boards and out by Brandon Montour. Here's Matthew Tkachuk. He'll shovel it down row. Rodriguez trying to locate that puck, and it was play with a high stick. So with 10:38 to go in the second period, obviously with Florida having played it, it'll come outside the zone. Ekholm's protesting here.
What a play by Mikkola and Nugent Hopkins, and they almost got a look there from Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, Ekholm saying my stick wasn't high, but they're going to rule it was, and as a result, face off to Skinner's left. You're allowed to hand pass in your own end, but you can't play with the puck with a high stick. So Kevin Stenlund will take the draw, and he'll do so against Leon Draisaitl to Skinner's left. 10:38 to play in the second period. Draisaitl having assisted on the first goal. 31 points now in the postseason. Third in the league and on the team. Off the draw, shot by Ekman-Larsson. Juicy rebound. Skinner gave it up, and then it was shot over the net by Lomberg. And the Oilers able to clear. McLeod to Corey Perry. And Lomberg just heeled that over the net. He looked like he had the top half available.
Might have been the best look they've had.
Cousins will send it in deep. Started with an Ekman-Larsson drive, and Lomberg, perhaps a little overly excited, put it over everything. He hasn't played much. In fact, his last goal, he's only had 1 point since February 17th. Panthers with control after an Oiler clear. Luo Sturinen dropped it off for Aaron Ekblad. Left to right, Nick Cousins. He'll shoot it behind the Edmonton net. Skinner cut it off brilliantly for Kulak. And then laid ahead by Derek Ryan. Fogle to the middle of the ice. CC up to center, and he'll shoot it in. Forsling with 9.5 to go. Cut off by Holloway. Held in for the moment by Derek Ryan. Fogle centering pass, and then ricocheted off the back of the net. Barkov moved it up the right-hand side. Brown in unison, urging the Oilers on. Trying to ensure that Edmonton will force a Game 7 back in Sunrise Monday night. We'll have it for you at 6:20 Mountain. Here's a turnover. Reinhart to the front of the net. We got a penalty coming against Edmonton, and probably a good one to take there. A turnover, Nurse to Broberg, and Skinner was kind of rolled into at the end. Barkov was taken out and plowed right into him. But Skinner does not look like he's going to have to really do much other than shake this one out a little bit.
Broberg's got to make a better play there, Jack, as we go to break.
Reinhart the saucer, Barkov taken out, Connor McDavid the penalty, and the Florida Panthers will be on the power play when we come back. This is Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final with Edmonton leading 2-0. 9 minutes to play in period 2 on the Oilers Radio Network.
International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 955, is one of Alberta's largest and most diverse union locals in the province. Members work in everything from construction and maintenance to pipelines, renewables, healthcare.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for joining us for another NHL Stanley Cups. All right, that was funny. I'm just going to leave it in there. Thanks for joining us for the Stanley Cup Finals, game number 6. Hit that like button if you have not done so already. That helps bring more people into the chat. And another way to get more people in the chat, hit that share button and send it out to all the social networks that you can. Hockey boards, sports boards, chat groups, your friends, your enemies, whatever. Get more people here in the chat. It makes it more fun. And let's cheer on the Oilers. And Canada, go. Oilers, go. See you guys in the chat.
Even your own.
AGLC license number 645766.
Proudly headquartered in Edmonton, Capital Power is powering change by changing power. Be part of the energy and join Capital Power in cheering on our Edmonton Oilers. From Ice District and across oil country as they chase another championship banner. Visit capitalpower.com to learn about how they're delivering reliable and affordable power for communities today and creating innovative solutions for a clean electricity future.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
Edmonton trying to create arguably the biggest game in the history of the Stanley Cup. Oilers leading the Florida Panthers 2-0 in Game 6. A face-off won by Barkov, played back inside the blue line. An Edmonton win, and the Oilers will have evened the series after being down 3-0. And if they do, a big reason why is the penalty kill as Derek Ryan calmly delivers the length of the ice clear. McDavid in the box, the Oiler penalty kill. Just remarkable. 44 of 45 over their last 16 games. And 94% in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That would be a record. Shoveled up the right-hand side. Reinhart had it knocked off a stick, and Edmonton's making it look easy. Connor Brown clears. I'm not sure two players have better chemistry right now than Connor Brown and Matthias Janmark. Yep. Panthers left to right. Ekman-Larsson, a good play there to shake Verhaeghe loose, and he'll take it back behind the net. Matthew Tkachuk, Verhaeghe, Ekman-Larsson. He'll move it. And loading up is Barkov, trying to funnel it to the front of the net. There's Reinhart, there's Tkachuk. Nice play by Ekman-Larsson. Dishing off Verhaeghe, a snapshot and a save made by Stuart Skinner. Rebound down to one knee, and it's tossed down the ice by Ryan McLeod. I'll say this, Ekman-Larsson, that's a good change by Paul Maurice. Ekman-Larsson looks a lot smoother than Montour.
They had 2 shots in the first period. He had both of them.
Here's Sam Bennett up the left-hand side. Cody Ceci back behind the net. I guess I'm master of the obvious. Connor Brown locates the puck off a dump-in, and he clears. And the Panthers running out of time. 23 seconds left in the hook to Connor McDavid. Montour left to right trying to get Florida on the board. He'll shoot it around the boards. Tarasenko, hard rim. It's Lundell, gets it right back from Montour, juggles and then fires, save. Skinner pinned it underneath his left armpit, and now just 6 seconds remain in this Snap Auto Parts penalty kill. 2-0 Edmonton, 7:09 to go in the second period. And you know what? The Oilers are going to take that all day. Nothing against Lundell, but your goaltender's going to stop that from 25 feet every time with a clean look. Face-off coming to Skinner's left. Now, Florida does get an extra draw here with McDavid in the box. And, of course, because we're in the second period, McDavid has that much further to skate and join the play.
They also have to be aware if Edmonton wins the draw.
Nope. Stenlund wins the face-off. Forsling, wrist shot, missed short side. Now Cousins nudged it in front. It was sitting there for a moment and then lobbed up ice, and there it is. But Florida was ready for it as Forsling had drifted back to defend McDavid. So, Bob, you may have said that too loud. Panthers were ready for McDavid to come out of the box, and Florida's able to bang it in deep. But once again, another failed power play The Panthers are 1 for 18 in the series. Stenlund has it stripped by McDavid on the ice with Draisaitl and Hyman following the successful Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. But Ekblad trying to catch Edmonton in transition with a clear to Cousins. In over the line, Luo Sturinen. Now Nick Cousins will swing it behind the net. Luo Sturinen looking to protect against his fellow number 27, Brett Kulak. Chipped up the left-hand side. Draisaitl down to one knee. That puck exited the zone offside Florida. And a face-off will come out to neutral ice. And Ekholm didn't like the last shot taken by Nico Mikkola and gave him a shot of his own. Shots on goal are 13-10 in this hockey game in favor of Edmonton. But the score is 2-0 thanks to goals by Foegele and Adam Henrique. What do you think, Bob, psychologically? How much is there an advantage? Do you think this is weighing on Florida?
I think they're too good of a team for it to weigh on them, and we know how good they are in third periods, John. Oilers got a lot of work to do here yet.
Florida -6 in the first period, +6 in the second period, and +13 in the third in terms of goal differential. Nugent Hopkins wins the faceoff. Brett Kulak up to center. He'll dump it in. No, they're not going to give him center. That was very close.
Kulak thinks they touched the puck.
Kulak, well, he was 2 strides short. And yes, I think Kulak's argument is that he thought someone knocked the stick out of play. 20 consecutive kills at home for Edmonton and 45 out of 46 overall. Florida in the last 2 Stanley Cup Finals, Bob, 1 for 32 on the power play. They took an 0-for against Vegas last year and falling in 5 games. Off the draw, chipped up the left-hand boards. Janmark won't get there. Nico Mikkola. Connor Brown forced it back inside the Florida line. Mikkola to Montour, and that shot redirected toward the net. Skinner paddled it over to Bouchard. Nice play by Janmark to set Nugent Hopkins loose. In over the line, a shot sent wide. Just out of the reach of Connor Brown. Janmark poked it free, then whacked at it a second time, and now it's going to be covered by goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky. It's hard to believe that Edmonton and Jay Woodcroft sent down Matthias Janmark to the minors. And Matthias Janmark emerging as one of Edmonton's top players in this Stanley Cup final. He has an assist on Adam Henrique's second period goal. The Oilers in command in Game 6, looking to tie this Stanley Cup final. It's Edmonton 2, Florida 0. More live play-by-play coming next from Rogers, the Oilers Radio Network.
Portage College graduates are incredibly employable. How does Portage know? 99% of employers surveyed said they would hire a Portage grad. Get career ready at Portage College. Learn more by visiting portagecollege.ca.
Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the hockey game. Hey, thanks for being here and catching the game with us. Appreciate it. But please hit that subscribe button as well. In game number 5, 70.5% of the viewers were not subscribed. How is that even possible? Thanks for being here. It's free. Just go down right there right now, hit that subscribe button, and please help grow this awesome community of Toronto sports fans so we can help change the world one single game at a time. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you guys real soon. See you in the chat.
Strong and stable industry leader with career opportunities across Canada. We have hundreds of positions available right now, from parts, sales, positioning technology, heavy-duty mechanics, and more. Be a part of a winning team. Earn your stripes by joining Brant today. Find out more at brantjobs.com.
Believing in yourself takes confidence. At Portage College, 93% of grads say their education gave them the skills and knowledge they needed for their careers. That's the kind of confidence that leads to great results. Learn more at portagecollege.ca.
You're listening to Oilers Hockey on 630 CHED and on the Radio Player Canada app.
Face off to Bobrovsky's right-hand side. McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman in the offensive zone. With Ekholm and Bouchard. Draw won by McDavid with 5.5 to go. Here's Ekholm to the net, and he snapped one that caught a piece of Bobrovsky and sailed out of play. 5:32 left, second period. The Oilers 2-0 over Florida. Fogle in the first, Henrique in the second. Barkov tried to answer 10 seconds after Henrique's goal, but the play was whistled offside by an eyelash. A gutty challenge turned in by Noah Siegel and the Edmonton coaching staff. Siegel's the head video guy. Face-off win for McDavid. Winding and firing as Ekholm, a blocker save made by Bobrovsky. Hyman comes off the left half boards, moves to McDavid, little spin move inside, kicks it back. Ekholm swung it to Bouchard. His shot sails wide of Sergei Bobrovsky. And Florida's Sam Bennett will pull it up to center ice for the Panthers. Bennett, lifetime in the postseason, excellent numbers, 25 goals, 56 points in 82 games. So that's the equivalent of a full season, and he's never surpassed 49 points in an actual regular season. Bennett around the boards, kind of a modern-day Claude Lemieux. Big hit on Nugent Hopkins, laid by Kulikov. Verhaeghe will kick it back, and now Forsling. Kulikov trading the puck, looking up ice. Barkov hacked at it, couldn't find it, but it was turned over. Barkov steps up, right circle, snapshot to save Skinner. Rebound Verhaeghe. Winding it around for Sam Reinhart. Verhaeghe let it go through to Ekman Larsson. That's a big save by Skinner. And then Ekman Larsson, who turned it over, then watched Dylan Holloway overrun the play. So he got it back into the zone for Barkov, but it was taken away by Fogle. And now Draisaitl and Holloway up ice 2-on-2. Trailer is Bouchard, and Draisaitl can't get it to him. Carter Verhaeghe misses badly on a pass intended for Reinhart. And now Kulak up the left-hand side, flipped in by Holloway. Mikkola back to get it against Draisaitl. Poor execution on both sides. There could have been 2 or 3 scoring chances there, and neither club converted. I don't blame Barkov for shooting, though. Verhaeghe's had nothing going. Here's Montour up the right-hand side. Center ice, in over the line is Nick Cousins. Backhands it in front. Lomberg unable to redirect. Perry laid it behind. Lomberg came thundering into Kulak, quickly to Perry, and he'll launch it back up ice. Corey Perry playing his 214th Stanley Cup playoff game. That's top 20 of all time, and he scored his 54th career goal in the Stanley Cup playoffs on Tuesday night. Perry off a dump in to McLeod, one-timer, and getting a little excited. Adam Henrique.
What a
He's
chance.
been money from that spot, about 6 feet away of Bobrovsky, and he just missed the net. He clubbed it wide of the right goalpost, trying to put it top right corner. Oilers put it up the right-hand side, and that turns into an icing call against Edmonton with 2:49 to go in this second period. The Oilers have mustered just 3 shots on net in this second period, and they won't get a better chance than the one Henrique just got from Ryan McLeod, and he just drilled it high and wide.
Huge draw here for Henrique.
What a look that was for Adam Henrique, who's been money point blank ever since he joined the club at the trading deadline. As you pointed out, Bob, I mean, 90% of his goals as an Oilers have been on tips or redirects right in front of the opposing goal. He's done a great job of finishing. Scored off the rush tonight, a different looking goal than he scored as an Oiler, but a beautiful setup from Janmark. And now Henrique on the draw against Eetu Luostarinen.
Drop the puck.
Face off to Skinner's right-hand side. Now express instructions. And Henrique wins the draw. Swept around the left-hand side. A big hit. Again, Kulikov. And a physical last couple of shifts for him. Oilers were able to work it up the left-hand side. Janmark, who was the recipient of that hit, then laid one on Kulikov. Shaken free to Lundell. And now up the left-hand side, Ekman Larsson. Redirected and grabbed by Janmark. Could not snake his way through traffic, however. Luostarinen threw it across. Broberg able to clear with ease. And now a swing by Luostarinen. Last 3 games, that could have been a penalty, and I can't believe it wasn't. Janmark took down Sam Bennett right in front
Oilers got to manage the puck better. Broberg had lots of time to make a play, and he turned it over. Edmonton was lucky they didn't get called there, Jay.
Evan Rodriguez shovels it in. Jabbed at by Skinner up the right-hand side. A finishing hit. Bent it out to Forsling. His wrist shot saves Skinner. Rebound. Forsling fired again. Block shot. It's going to be a breakaway. Zach Hyman in on Bobrovsky. Scores! 3-0 Edmonton. Hyman's 16th goal of the playoffs.
Zach Hyman has just surpassed Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin at 15 goals. He has the most goals in a single playoffs since Joe Sakic 28 years ago in 1996.
And he has the most goals by an Oiler since Craig Simpson, who had 16 back in 1990. Beating Bobrovsky 5-hole. They call him Shaq Hyman. And he's got 16, and that's his 30th as an Oiler in 52 Stanley Cup playoff games. Off the draw, here's Dylan Holloway, weaving his way in. Ceci, shot redirected in front of Bobrovsky. And it's Sam Reinhart back on the puck. Steele, Draisaitl. Crowd in an uproar. Barkov mishandling. Draisaitl kicks it back to Ceci. The chants of Sergei have risen up one more time at Rogers Place. Florida with the puck in its own end. Deafening in here. Lundell slid it wide of the Oiler net with a minute to go in this second period. And the Panthers have to be disheartened as Edmonton has scored 2 more goals in the second period on just 4 shots. Nugent Hopkins will get his second point of the series on the Hyman goal. Here's Lundell, sharp angle and a save made by Stuart Skinner. Lundell back on the rebound, checked off the puck by Evan Bouchard, and he's able to lift it back through center. Kulikov darts back, he's on the puck for Florida. Tried to whip it off Henrique and maybe create a too many men call against Edmonton. That didn't pan out. The Oilers were able to force it back in. Kulikov to center ice. 10 seconds to go. Stenlund, left-hand side. Luo Starinen, nowhere to move it. Threw it back behind the net. Crowd on its feet. Electric atmosphere. McDavid on an extra pop from Lomberg. Hyman thunders into him. Wrestling match. Period over. Oilers 20 minutes away from creating a Game 7 after being down 3-0 in the Stanley Cup Final. You're listening to history potentially at Rogers Place, and this crowd cognizant of its team's effort to go 5-0 in elimination games, and Bob, they're 20 minutes away from doing exactly that.
At some point, all this after the whistle BS with Florida has to be penalized. Stripes has to take control here. Ekblad's sitting there. He's working over Janmark. I mean, it's every whistle. They got their meat out there. They get Cousins back in the lineup. Not exactly. And Janmark wants to know why there's a penalty here.
Janmark, by the way, the guy we were trying to think of was Blake Coleman when Janmark blasted him with about 7 or 8 unanswered shots earlier in this regular season.
They started that whole sequence. McDavid had the puck with 2 seconds left, was killing the clock. I'm going to assume it's coincidentals, and Florida will be lucky if it's coincidentals because they started the whole melee. And Ekblad got some shots in, so we'll have to wait and see. I can't see Edmonton being shorthanded out of this, Jack.
3-0 Edmonton. The shots 15-13, and the Oilers very much in command of this game. Despite a pedestrian 4 shots on net in the second period, the Oilers were able to score on half of them. And the Florida Panthers, like Edmonton in the first 3 games, haven't been able to figure out Stuart Skinner, who's 9-0 in games 4 through 7 in this postseason, and he's played to a save percentage of just under 94 and exceeding 94, including tonight's numbers where he's been perfect thus far on 13 shots. The shots were 11-4 Florida in the second period. Skinner's answered the bell. The Oilers' depth has once again answered the bell. And I look at, again, 2 crucial penalty kills and the contributions of guys like Janmark and Brown and Henrique. That line, Bob,
has swung the series.
Absolutely. And remember where it was in the Stanley Cup playoffs. At the beginning, they were like the 4th unit.
Well, Henrique started the playoffs on the left wing with Connor McDavid. And then he got nicked up at the end of the LA series.
And when he came back,
Brown
he was a 4th-line guy.
Brown was a healthy scratch in the first round of the playoffs. He's become critical. Skinner clearly gets better as the series goes on. Guess who else gets better as the series goes on? The coach. The coach figures stuff out as the series have gone on, and he seems to press the right buttons. Chris Knoblauch and Paul Coffey. And the Oilers had some skittery moments, including Philip Broberg. They need to settle him down, but that was a mammoth goal at the end of the second period.
And Janmark, for me, is, I mean, what is he? The Oilers' 6th best forward right now?
Jack, I'm just going to throw something else at you here. Okay, game 1, the 2 guys that had breakaways were Henrique and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. They're both left shots. They cut from the left and went to the glove side left of Sergei Bobrovsky.
And now you've got Brown and Hyman, both righties.
Both righties. And when they
it's a good call by you.
It's rare when I have those.
No, that's outstanding work. I'm glad you brought something to the table for Game 6.
It rarely happens, as you know.
20 minutes away from Game 7, partner.
Well, they got some work to do here. Can't sit back. It's, we've seen a little bit of tilting of the ice in that period. For me, Jack, it comes down to one thing. D, manage the puck. Philip Broberg, he's been stellar since coming in.
How about Noah Siegel tonight? That's a mammoth challenge.
That is a mammoth, and you have to be right.
Because that building was quiet, and it could have been 2-1. Now, let's just not even say, if you don't challenge, it's 2-1, and no one would have blamed him for not challenging.
It was a gutsy call. You have to have belief in what your group does.
And that's, I just want to augment. I'm not saying Chris Knoblauch doesn't deserve credit, but he's got a support staff that he empowers.
Paul Coffey, speaking of empowered, keeps playing defenseman even when they make mistakes. Play your way through mistakes. Broberg's had a case of, I think this is the roughest performance he's had. So we'll see what happens here in the third period. The Panthers are going to drag it into the alley. It's part of who they are.
$7.5 million. Your Oilers 50-50 right now. And, well, you just missed out on the $25,000 cash at early bird pricing. But for every $100 you purchase in 50-50 tickets, you get $25 at Boston Pizza and a $25 sports bet for Play Alberta. That's EdmontonOilers.com/50-50. And, oh, by the way, the jackpot right now sitting at a healthy $7.5 million. Speaking of healthy, how about the Oilers' fortunes in this Stanley Cup final? They have never been healthier, and they're 20 minutes away from tying the series. It's Edmonton 3, Florida nothing. 40 minutes complete, 20 to go. 20 separating Edmonton from, again, arguably the most important game in the history of the Stanley Cup final. It'd be Game 7, Monday night in Sunrise. That's still 20 minutes away. But the Oilers looking to make history, not just in hockey, but in the entirety of professional sports. Reed and Rob will have their say on the other side. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio Network.
When the Oilers are on the ice, the big hits are a part of the game. But they shouldn't be a part of your drive. If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown & Associates and their over 200 years of combined injury law experience help you. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown & Associates is ready to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Stay connected with your community and enjoy the latest updates and exclusive access to concerts and events by becoming a 630 CHED Insider. Don't miss out on a single moment.
Sign up now at 630ched.com.
And click on CHED Insider Newsletter to become a vital part of Edmonton's premier news and talk community. 630 CHED, Edmonton's news, today's talk.
Where Edmonton stays informed and entertained.
Today and every day. At the intermission, brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Bennett out to Forsling. His wrist shot saves Skinner. Rebound. Forsling fired again. Block shot. It's going to be a breakaway. Zach Hyman in on Bobrovsky. Scores. Edmonton.
Zach Hyman's 16th goal of the playoffs. Nugent Hopkins blocking the shot, the puck drifting into the neutral zone. Hyman gets there first, goes to the backhand on Bobrovsky with 1:40 left in the second period. That is your look into the highlight zone for Century Casinos. All in, all games, all season. Century Casinos, 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton International Airport. Welcome to the winner zone. It is 3-0 Edmonton after 2 periods in Game 6 as Rob Brown checks in. Well, Rob, Hyman, just a remarkable season. Front to back, up to 16 goals in the playoffs. And there he does it again. The speed, the hustle, and the finish.
Well, the finish was just fantastic. At the beginning of the series, the Oilers had a number of breakaways, especially in Game 1, that they weren't able to finish. And everyone's talking about, you can't deke Bobrovsky, you can't deke him, you got to shoot. Now that we've seen in the last couple of games, we've seen, yeah, you can deke him. You just got to make the right move, and Hyman did. Now, I could be wrong, but my brother texted me and said that was the 70th goal of the season for Zach Hyman, which would tie him with Austin Matthews for goals on the year. This is a pretty amazing year that Zach Hyman has had. And Reed, if you're looking for things to excite you about being an Edmonton Oilers fan, the Edmonton Oilers are fighting themselves back into this series and well on their way to tying at 3-3. And throughout this final series, they've done most of it with both 2 of their star players being a little bit quiet, Leon and Hyman. Well, they both showed up tonight. Leon was exceptional through 40 minutes. He set up the first goal. Hyman gets a breakaway. If they get those players going, the Florida Panthers right now are just hanging on, and they're now starting to see what the Edmonton Oilers are capable of doing when they get top to bottom. It was a great first. Florida pushed in the second, but the Oilers got the opportunities, and when they got them, they finished. Now the Oilers are 1 solid period away from forcing the unthinkable, Game 7.
We'll talk about the video review because I'm sure people are tuning in for that. But the Oilers scored 46 seconds into the period, Rob. Henrique with his 4th from Janmark and Ekholm. Again, that line involved with, smart play by Ekholm to get it up to Janmark. He stays on side, and then he finds Henrique for the goal.
Well, so many times in the past, you and I have done the Edmonton Oilers playoffs, and Connor and Leon have been great, and Nugent Hopkins has had a good playoff. But the depth struggled, and eventually they didn't have enough good depth players to move on to the next round. Well, this third line that they've put together for the Edmonton Oilers, think of where they would be in these final series. The Oilers probably aren't still playing if it wasn't for the play of the third line. The contributions they're getting shorthanded from Brown and Janmark and Henrique, what they've done 5-on-5 against the best players for the Florida Panthers, and their contributions offensively. They've been excellent. And I think in this game, and you could argue on it, I think the Oilers' third line, the Henrique line, has been the Oilers' best line. And that's on a team with Hyman and McDavid and Nuge and Leon. But that's how good they have been, how noticeable they have been. And when you look at the Florida Panthers, they came into this series and depth was supposed to be their strength, and they are. They got a very good, deep team. But look what the third line has done for the Edmonton Oilers, and compare that to the depth players of the Florida Panthers. The Oilers are winning that battle.
Yeah, they're just showing that goal on the big screen. And Ekholm, a no look. He just wrapped it around off the board. So that's knowing, that's a plan that winger is going to go up the wall and you can slam it up there. Rob, and there was an answer to that goal by Florida. 10 seconds later, Barkov scored. The Oilers challenged for video review. Man, oh man, it does appear to be offside. I put on Twitter by about 1/20th of the puck. It looked like there was just a crescent, a small little piece of the puck still on the blue line when the other player's skate went over.
Well, it is absolutely amazing that you can catch that, first of all, and then it's a gutsy call when you get into your headphones, say, "Hey, coach, yep, that's offside. You sure?" "Yep." And then the coach looks at it on the iPad like, "Ooh, that's really close. I hope you're right, kid, because this is going to be a big part of this hockey game, because if they're wrong on that one, it's 2-1, and the Florida Panthers have a power play." Having said that, power play has done nothing. It was close, and it shows you how good the referees or the linesmen are, because it's something that close that you need for them to have missed it. But that was a big moment in the game. Video replay is a huge part of the game nowadays. The Edmonton Oilers got it right, and really changed. That deflated the Florida Panthers and frustrated the Florida Panthers. So that's a good call by Chris Knobloch on the review, and it went the Oilers' way. We've had too many here in Edmonton over the years that haven't gone the Oilers' way.
So 3-0 Edmonton after 2 periods in Game 6, the final game of the 23-24 season here at Rogers Place. And the Oilers hoping to make it a victory and go to Sunrise for Game 7 on Monday. We'll check your out-of-town scoreboard in a couple of minutes. For Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
There's only one line of trucks that's outsold all others for 58 years. Only one with the available Power Boost hybrid engine on select models that delivers performance and efficiency. It's the truck that all others are measured by. You know the one. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Right now, lease the 2024 F-150 STX with black appearance package at 2.49% APR for up to 24 months with $4,800 down. That's just $228 bi-weekly. Visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
From your home to the ice rink, ATCO Energy is there. As the official energy provider of Rogers Place, we're also proud partners of the Edmonton Oilers. ATCO Energy, powering your place. Customers are free to purchase natural gas services or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
With Global News, I'm Thomas Dias. The murder conspiracy trial of 2 men has heard that rifles, body armor, and buckets full of ammunition were found in a home near the 2022 border blockade at Coots in southern Alberta. Chris Carbert and Anthony Olenek are on trial charged with conspiracy to commit murder of police officers. They were arrested after police raided the modular home and travel trailers on private property in the village. Constable Daniel Sauvé testified 2 rifles and cans of ammunition were found throughout the home. Calgary Mayor Jyoti Gondek is promising a wide-ranging examination of the city's underground infrastructure 3 weeks after a catastrophic pipeline break led to ongoing water restrictions for the city. Officials remain confident the repair work will be completed by the start of the Calgary Stampede. And weather records were shattered across Atlantic Canada this week as a 3-day heat wave took hold in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and Labrador. Meantime, several U.S. cities are expected to see record-breaking temperatures this weekend. News on demand at 630ched.com.
Be a savvy Edmonton hotel shopper. Book through edmontonsbesthotels.com and receive up to $225 in cash rewards. There are over 50 member hotels to choose from offering their best value rates. edmontonsbesthotels.com. Rewards with every booking.
Get ready to live sky high. Sky Signature Suites offers remarkable units for rent featuring sophisticated floor plans, designer finishes, and breathtaking views. Experience resort-like amenities including a full-time concierge, yoga and fitness studios, golf simulator, plus indoor and outdoor lounges for you to live your best life. Visit SkySignatureSuites.com and make your home high above the ordinary.
Experience the exciting casino action at 3 Century Casino locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton Airport. Dine at one of their amazing restaurants featuring daily specials. Check out the best in live entertainment at any amazing location. Plus, you can always enjoy a great selection of casino gaming options or try your luck at off-track betting. And now you can feel the thrill of live horse racing at Century Mile Racetrack. Century Casino has it all. Come for the action, stay for the fun.
Be a savvy Edmonton hotel shopper. Book through edmontonsbesthotels.com and receive up to $225 in cash rewards. There are over 50 member hotels to choose from offering their best value rates. edmontonsbesthotels.com. Rewards with every booking.
At
the intermission. Brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
He'll club it up the left-hand side, waiting for it as Janmark driving into the net. Centering pass, reach shot, score! 2-0 Edmonton. What a finish! Adam Henrique puts it away, and the Oilers go up by 2 in Game 6.
That goal early in the second period as we check the scoreboard for Pizza 73, official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers CFL tonight, midway through the third quarter. BC leading Winnipeg 27. Blue Jays lost 7-1 at Cleveland. Oilers up 3-0 going to the third in Game 6. Jack and Bob next. Fort Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
At the intermission has been brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Straining to find the right home? You're going to love this. For a limited time, get back in the game with a free Oiler Fan Cave basement by Coventry Homes. This playoff package includes a free basement, plus an exclusive Oiler Fan Cave, complete with their signature customizable designs and top shelf finishes at no additional cost. Because flexibility is within reach. Coventry Homes, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers.
MIC is a leader in medical imaging and the official medical imaging provider to the Edmonton Oilers. Make MIC your choice. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, the game doesn't stop for injury. MIC's sports medicine imaging specialists can help you get back in the game with a timely and expert diagnosis. Go where the pros go. For a location near you, visit mic.ca.
McDavid trying to come in with speed. Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores!
Hey, Edmonton. Rogers wants you to stay connected to your Edmonton Oilers.
Connor McDavid! Fantastic!
Catch every goal on Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network with Rogers 5G mobile plans. To learn more, visit rogers.com/5G. That's rogers.com/5G.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Heading into Game 4, Edmonton had been outscored 13-1 in the third period of its previous 9 games. But since that point, the Oilers have outscored Florida by a healthy 5-1 in each of the last 3 games. And so the Panthers, while a dangerous third period club, have only 1 win in this Stanley Cup playoff run when trailing after 2 periods. It's 3-0 Edmonton, McDavid and Bennett, and we're underway in the third period as the puck is dropped and Bennett will kick it back. The Oilers got 2 in the second after 1 in the first. Warren Foegele opened the scoring. Adam Henrique and Zach Hyman with second period goals. Matthew Tkachuk up the right-hand side. 1 in the first minute, and that was scored by Henrique, and then Hyman converted a breakaway with $1:20 left in the second. And now the third period starts with a Forsling steal on Ekholm and a pass led for Matthew Tkachuk that missed him. And now with 32 seconds having elapsed in the third period, we bring it back into the Florida zone. And Sergei Bobrovsky has now given up 14 goals on the last 54 shots he faced. And when you consider the scenario where Bobrovsky was nearly unbeatable in the first 2 games and 2 periods of this series, it's hard to believe that he's struggling to the degree he is. 74% over that stretch. That's the save percentage. Here's Sam Bennett off the draw from Forsling, flipping it into the right-hand corner, and Nurse just ran right through Vladimir Tarasenko. The Oilers left to right with a 3-0 lead, trying to force a Game 7 on Monday night. Now, why am I saying it's arguably the biggest game in the history of the Stanley Cup Final? Here's a beautiful move. Montour snapped it high and wide on Stuart Skinner. Well, in 1942, the world was at war. Here's a steal and a shot by Lundell that's deflected out of play. So as a result, Bob, I don't think the attention due the 1942 Stanley Cup Final would begin to approach what we'll have on Monday night Sunrise.
I think that's a pretty fair statement.
And I chuckle, but we were talking about a world war.
Yeah, people were playing for a little bit bigger things.
Yes. Toronto came from a 3-0 deficit to beat the Detroit Red Wings. It's the only time it's happened in the history of the Stanley Cup Final. It's only happened in 3 other playoff series. 1975, up the right-hand side off the draw, an icing call we whistled on Cody Ceci. It was a breakthrough series win for the New York Islanders as they rallied past the Pittsburgh Penguins. Then they almost did it again in the very next round.
That's Flyers.
Yeah, and the Flyers beat them in Game 7. And then the recent ones, of course, were 2010, Philadelphia beating Boston, and they were down 3-0 and 3-0 in Game 7 and rallied to win. Off the draw, here's Barkov rolling to the net, shoots and scores, and Florida's right back in the game. It's 3-1, so put a hold on Game 7 as a turnover by the Oilers in their own end. Verhaeghe to Barkov, beautiful dangle move around Skinner, and this one will count. He had one in the second period taken off the board, also set up by Verhaeghe.
Well, Barkov's a terrific player, but that time Foegele was in defensive support, and then Kulak down and out. The Oilers didn't get the puck up the boards and out, and unfortunately that's been a reoccurring theme for the Draisaitl line. Oilers need to dig in here. What a great goal from Barkov. He's a terrific player.
Well, and he's probably understandably feeling, he earned that one. He had one taken away by the tiniest of margins in the second period. And he and the Panthers are on the board. Verhaeghe, the primary assist on Barkov's 8th of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So it's 3-1. Nick Cousins shovels it down low. Lomberg in pursuit. Cousins tried to slide it in front just to finish the other series, of course, 2014. And that was L.A. rallying past San Jose. McLeod takes an outlet pass, blistered one off the pads, up Bobrovsky. And here comes Nico Mikkola for the Florida Panthers, right to left. He'll send it in deep. Bouchard over to Ekholm, smacked around the boards. Panthers, Matthew Tkachuk desperately trying to hold it in, can't do it. Perry stays onside. McLeod a shot off the rush. Again, high to the blocker on Bobrovsky, makes the save. Panthers have 17 minutes and 40 seconds to get 2 more goals. Sam Bennett in over the line. Tkachuk, a shot, that was stumped. Forced it back behind the net. Darnell Nurse is there for Edmonton. Laid it off glass, settled by Ekblad, and wired back in. That went off the referee. Here's Darnell Nurse up the left-hand side. Nurse a second time. Sam Bennett shovels it back down low. Matthew Tkachuk tried to dish off. Poke checked away by Zach Hyman. He's through Forsling. Driving down the right-hand side. And cut off from behind by Matthew Tkachuk. Oilers will keep the cycle moving. Nugent-Hopkins to Ceci, driven down low, tipped away from Hyman, and speared by Bobrovsky before McDavid can get there. And Sam Bennett, who had a chokehold on Bouchard earlier in this series, tried to do the same thing to McDavid.
Well, they had an opportunity in the second period to send Florida a message there. And a good play by McLeod off the rush, just a low shot, and frankly, that
juicy rebound from Bobrovsky.
Derek Ryan was almost there for a tap-in.
3-1 our score. Edmonton on top. Barkov from Verhaeghe. And then ends Stuart Skinner's bid for a shutout. But he still has a chance to go a perfect 10-0 in games 4 through 7 thus far in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Oilers looking to win an elimination game for the 5th time in this postseason. Twice against Vancouver and twice against Florida. Here's Montour in over the line. Shot taken from the top of the right circle, deflected behind the net, eventually located by Reinhart. But when he tried to center for Verhaeghe, was broken up. Montour briefly held it in and backhanded safely out by Cody Ceci.
Oilers are playing a little tepid right now, Jack.
Ekman Larsson will get it back from Barkov. He'll snap it in from center. Somewhat understandable with a 3-0 lead. We saw Florida do it with a 4-1 lead in Game 3 in this building. Draisaitl felt like he was high-sticked. A wrist shot on net and a save made by Stuart Skinner as the crowd tries to revive Edmonton. Draisaitl up the left-hand side, hacked at by Foegele, and that'll chase all the way back in his own zone Anton Lundell for the Panthers. 4 minutes gone in the third. Lundell through one man, through Foegele. And then poke checked away at the last second by Bouchard before Lundell can line up a shot. He'll wind it down low. Luis Sterainen tried to jam play. And then Tarasenko back to the point for Kulikov. He'll quickly swing back behind the net. Ekholm up the left-hand side. Florida's calling for a delay of game, but it clipped the glass.
Yeah. Right away, that was the call there.
15:35 left third period. Face-off will be on the face-off dot to the left of Stuart Skinner. And the Florida Panthers now trail by 2. That's why Hyman's goal just massive, and really getting 2 goals in a shot where you only manage 4 on net.
Edmonton looks a little tight right now here, Jock, after building up that 3-0.
Like they're trying to nurse one home?
Don't nurse one home.
McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Connor McDavid not on the score sheet tonight. 42 points, though, in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and 11 in the final. That's 2 shy of a league record. Gretzky in 88. That was a short series. Chipped out towards center. Here's Gustav Forsling. Bennett. In that total, they actually count the game that was wiped out as a result of the power failure inside the Boston Garden. Wristed down deep by Forsling. Here's Ekholm up the left-hand side. So that was essentially a 4-game series, but it was 5 games with 1 no contest. Stripped by Florida. Ekblad, right point shot, redirected, save, Skinner, rebound, and Bennett was just steamrolled by Nugent Hopkins. And that's playing power hockey down low. Yeah. Nugent Hopkins probably saved a goal there. Evan Rodriguez dropped it off for Forsling.
Edmonton's got to get moving their feet here, Jock.
I think if Nugent Hopkins doesn't take Bennett down there, it's 3-2. He appeared for a moment to have a wide open net. Verhaeghe driving in from the left-hand side. Tried to slide it in front, well defended by Broberg. Verhaeghe able to snatch it back. Panthers sense the time is now. Nurse able to disrupt the cycle down low, up the right-hand side, quickly advanced through by Connor Brown, and Ekman Larsson has to regroup with 14 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third period. 3-1 Edmonton. Ekman Larsson mishandled at center. Henrique, a high toss. Bobrovsky will leave it. And now it's Ekman Larsson looking up ice, directing one Montour. They'll give him the red line, and he fires it in deep. Ryan Lomberg in on the forecheck against Ceci. Pitchfork safely out by Ryan McLeod. And now a steal by Derek Ryan. Driving out, and he's drawn a hooking call against the Florida Panthers.
I think it's against Derek Ryan, Jack.
I thought the stick got parallel. Oh, Derek Ryan on the backslide hit him in the face with a stick. Tie sticking on Derek Ryan. Yep. And Ryan's saying, I was hooked. And this is going to be Florida's third power play of the night. Derek Ryan saying, I was hooked, and in an attempt to shake his stick free, he absolutely clubbed Nick Cousins.
And he knows how to sell a call, Nick Cousins.
So Ryan to the box, Florida the power play. The Oiler penalty kill has held sway, 45 for its last 46. It's a 3-1 game for Edmonton. Panther power play next on the Oilers Radio Network.
Blue collar work deserves big dollar perks. Get a heavy wallet with Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals is hiring heavy equipment technicians, maintenance supervisors, PM servicemen, maintenance coordinators, and pretty much every other position that makes Alberta go. We help move the earth that makes Alberta grow. So why not work for a company that makes your bank account grow too? Visit heavymetalequipment.ca to find your new career. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals, helping you.
Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the hockey game. Hey, thanks for being here and catching the game with us. Appreciate it. But please hit that subscribe button as well. In game number 5, 70.5% of the viewers were not subscribed. How is that even possible? Thanks for being here. It's free. Just go down right there right now, hit that subscribe button, and please help grow this awesome community of Toronto sports fans so we can help change the world one single game at a time. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you guys real soon. See you in the chat.
From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
All games, all seasons.
You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
3-1 hockey game, and now Edmonton on the penalty kill, and off the draw, it's driven down the ice by Adam Henrique out there with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Cody Ceci, and Matthias Ekholm. Oiler penalty killers, 20 straight at home. Here's Barkov, right to left. He'll move it to Matthew Tkachuk. Sent out to Ekman-Larsson. Wrist shot, missed the net, off the end boards, and the Panthers can't come up with it. Ceci trying to free it up against Carter Verhaeghe. Second effort, Nugent-Hopkins digs in, and Ekman-Larsson late to the puck. Adam Henrique is not, and he clears it down the ice. 13 minutes left in regulation. Edmonton 3, Florida 1 in Game 6. We're high atop Rogers Place in our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Carter Verhaeghe mishandled the puck. And it was stolen and cleared by Connor Brown. Ekman-Larsson caught a blast by Janmark, stopped up around the mask by Bobrovsky. Brown kicks it back to Nurse, rolled it over to Broberg, and shot down the ice. 12:40 to play in the third period. There's your answer. Yep. Paul Coffey sending Philip Broberg out for an all-important penalty kill for the Oilers up 2 goals. Panthers rush in. Evan Rodriguez centered around the boards. Tarasenko trying to crowd Ryan McLeod. Bennett late getting there. Fogle digs it out of the corner, and Montour has to dash back to pick it up. Florida power play, 1 for 18 in the series. Here's Montour shooting, and that was deflected high up on the plexi. Panthers desperate, but Ekholm's first on the puck. Second effort, Fogle ran into his own man. Bennett found the puck for a moment, but then Fogle disrupted, and McLeod kept his feet moving and punched it back to center. Tarasenko rolls back in, moves it to Lundell. A shot, glove save Skinner. 6 seconds left on the PK. 11:50 remaining in the third period, and the Nap Auto Parts penalty kill continues to come through in the clutch for the Edmonton Oilers, not only in this Stanley Cup final, but the entirety of the playoffs. They're better than 94%.
I tell you, Janmark with some high heat on that rip job. Went high blocker, almost pegged Bobrovsky in the head.
Face off right side of Skinner. Kevin Stenlund beaten off the draw by Henrique. And that's hammered up the boards and out by Cody Ceci. Bobrovsky will leave it. And Florida has seen another power play go by the boards. Forsling will shoot it in. He was not at center, not even close to it. And a rare mistake by Forsling does indeed lead to an icing call. 11:36 to go in the third, and you can hear the crowd. Face off right side of Bobrovsky. McDavid out there with Draisaitl and Hyman following the successful kill. Edmonton gets its 3 top offensive players in terms of goal scoring out there. A big hit laid on Bouchard after a Florida face-off win and a clear. And the Panthers seemingly, especially Stenlund, I can't remember him losing a draw in this series, Bob. Sent in deep. Panthers come away with it. Driving to the net, and a wrist shot thrust high and wide by Sam Reinhart, who continues to struggle around the net. Reinhart, 1 goal in his last 7 coming in. Tkachuk, 1 goal in his last 10. That was in Tuesday's Game 5. Here's Barkov. He picked up a goal, his second in his last 9. That put the Panthers on the board. Florida gets it in deep. Holloway and Nugent-Hopkins as Sergei Bobrovsky continues to hear the haunting chants from the 18,000 plus crammed into this building. Fogle back inside the Florida line. Verhaeghe on tour, went up the gut. Reinhart didn't get much on it. Holloway will drop it off for Brett Kulak. Behind the net, he'll send it up the boards. Mikula Had to elude him. A rolling puck will be gathered by Montour. Back in his own zone, Mikkola. Up the left-hand side, Sam Bennett. Put it around the boards, Matthew Tkachuk. He'll shovel it behind the net. Evan Rodriguez, left circle wrist shot. That was blocked. Rebound, Matthias Janmark. A clear up the left-hand side. Ekman Larson rolls over to make a play on it.
That hurt Broberg, Jack, that shot.
Left wing board, Sam Bennett. Wrist shot, a save made on Rodriguez by Skinner.
Too much backing in for Edmonton right now.
Rodriguez to Ekman Larson. Shot from the point. Another save, Skinner. Rebound gobbled up by Connor Brown. Panthers a furious rally in this third period, as was the case on Tuesday night, but is it too little too late? Panthers got behind 3-0 in that game as well. Steal by Forsling. Tried to angle one toward the net. It was blocked by Ceci. Luo Starainen won a battle. Looked for a centering pass from Tkachuk. It was deflected right to McDavid, and the Oilers come out of the zone. McDavid to McLeod, and Hyman is able to snap it in deep. Taken against the boards by Forsling, and a big hit administered by Ekblad. Calling for the puck is Forsling from Tarasenko. He'll give it back to him at center ice. Tarasenko in over the line. Stripped by McLeod. Ekholm looks up ice, fires a pass intended for Hyman too far. Bobrovsky's going to handle this puck and drop it off for Forsling. And now Luo Starainen able to spill it in deep. I think the crowd wanted Bobrovsky called for playing it outside the trapezoid there. Shot in deep by Warren Fogle. Montour against Holloway. Behind the net a second time. Lomberg comes away. Crowd in a frenzy. 8.5 to play in the hockey game, and a penalty is coming, and it's an interference call against the Florida Panthers. Paul Maurice furious. Nurse and Mikkola come together. And Edmonton will be on the power play when we come back with a chance to maybe put this game away and assure the need for a Game 7 Monday night in Sunrise. Jean Hebert has the call. Florida to the box. It'll be Kevin Stenlund trudging to the sin bin. And with 8.5 to go, Stenlund in for interference, and Edmonton in position to put a wrap on Game 6. This is the Stanley Cup Final live from Rogers, the Oilers Radio Network.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. You know what I'm a fan of? Alberta. The wide open spaces, the highways and byways, and a rugged, beautiful terrain that I'm proud to call home. Maybe that's why I'm also a fan of my Ford F-150. It's tough, capable, and smart, which makes it a natural fit for roads like these. So if it's a new truck you're looking for, look no further than the truck Albertans love to drive, F-150. Head into your Alberta Ford dealer and tell them PB sent you.
Ready to score big on your outdoor space? It's game time with Park Landscaping. Transform your backyard into a winning arena with Park Landscaping's expert team. From design to maintenance of lush lawns and state-of-the-art synthetic turf to inviting pools and captivating water features.
What's up, insiders? TSI Mike here. I've got to figure out how to make this thing so I can stand up. But anyways, thanks every single one of you for being here. 100,000 plus people this stream has reached. Thank you all for being here. I can't even explain to you. It's amazing what we're doing. This community, we are making a difference in the real world. Sick kids. Thank you, Jordan, for coming on tonight. If you have not hit that like button yet, do it now. If you have not hit that subscribe button, what the heck are you waiting for? Oilers, let's go on the power play. Let's get it done. Force a Game 7 back in Florida. Long plane ride, baby. Let's go. Cheers, everybody.
Pizza 73. You're listening to Oilers Hockey
on 630 CHED and on the Radio Player Canada app.
8.5 to go, third period. The shots have been evenly split in this game at 18 apiece, but the Edmonton Oilers built a 3-0 lead. They still own a 3-1 advantage with 8 minutes and 30 seconds to play in Game 6, and now we're on the Atco power play for the second time tonight. Draisaitl, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and Bouchard, and a face-off win for Edmonton. Nugent Hopkins pinned against the boards by Barkov. The Panthers try to power it out. It's held in by Draisaitl to Hyman to McDavid. Back to Draisaitl, backhander from one knee, and it was blocked. Hyman back to Bouchard, and he could not hold the puck in the zone. Stenlund's in the box for interference.
What a chance for Edmonton there.
Here's McDavid, and it was set up by Draisaitl, keeping the puck in. McDavid tried to chip and charge, and Florida, Ekblad got a piece of McDavid, and Luostarinen dashed back to make a length of the ice clear. Minute 20 on the Atco power play. Atco Energy, your trusted Alberta retailer. Edmonton left to right. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you. Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Draisaitl crowded in the corner of the offensive zone. Snapped up to the point, but held in by Bouchard. Flipped back the other way by Draisaitl, and now Hyman trying to create space behind the net. Luostarinen came over, took the puck. He's on his backhand. He nudges it free to Mikkola. He gets through Nugent-Hopkins, but not Bouchard. Played back behind the net. Kulikov will have a chance for a hard rim, and it's kept in by Draisaitl. Second time he's kept the puck in the zone. Bobrovsky angles one. Luostarinen this time a backhand lift through center, and a good play made at the red line by Kulikov, who's had a strong game tonight, to keep it away from Edmonton, get it back from Sam Bennett, over to Forsling, wired back in, and the Oilers have to change up here. Corey Perry and Ryan McLeod have come on to join Bouchard and Draisaitl. Here's Bouchard with a turnover at center. Following it up is McLeod, who'll get through Ekblad, hitting for the net. Wrist shot off the mask of Sergei Bobrovsky. Makes the save with 10 seconds left on the Edmonton power play. Ekblad, a miscommunication with Forsling. Sam Bennett is there to cover it up. Forsling fires one down the middle that's intercepted by Ekholm, who takes a peek at the clock. The play is onside. Ekholm to the net. On his backhand, he'll protect, and with Florida back to full strength, he'll just wind it around back to Darnell Nurse, all the way in the Edmonton zone. Verhaeghe came over, took the puck from Nurse, tried to center and whiffed. And that was fortunate for Darnell Nurse. Barkov tried to center. Ekholm down the middle. A lunging Henrique did not make contact with the puck. And it's an icing call whistled against Edmonton with 6:05 to go in the third period. And the Oilers catch another break as Verhaeghe, having made the play to just power his way right through Darnell Nurse, whiffed on a centering pass that very well could have given Florida a terrific look.
A real important draw here, Adam Henrique. 6 minutes left in the game.
Against Barkov, 3-1 Oilers.
He's been head and shoulders Florida's best player.
Henrique wins the face-off. Nurse up the left-hand side. Montour angled out. And no icing called on the play as Oliver Ekman-Larsson comes over to grab the puck. Crowd trying to urge the Oilers home here. Game 7 Monday night, and Florida will have it for you, 6:20 Mountain. Oilers still have 5.5 minutes to negotiate. Armed with a 2-goal lead at Sam Reinhart. Crowding in the corner but can't maintain the zone. Connor Brown with a clear. Montour over to Ekman-Larsson. From center ice, it's shot in by Sam Reinhart. Around the boards, you've got Connor McDavid. Played it. Ceci able to shield his man for the puck. Now Connor Brown. Checked by Ekman-Larsson. Brown on the puck for Edmonton. Left-hand side. Kulak will shoot it in. Oilers with 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Barkov has Florida's only goal. It came here early in the third. But the score remains 3-1 as the Oilers are offside, coming over the line left to right. 5:05 remaining in the third period. When we come back, you'll hear 18,000 try to bring Edmonton all the way back to South Florida for a 7th and deciding game Monday night to crown a Stanley Cup champion. Edmonton 3, Florida 1. This is Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Oilers Radio Network.
Going back to school can be as scary as taking the winning shot, but it doesn't have to be. Score a great future with Northern Lakes College and supported distance learning. NLC knows that students need attention, support, and the synergy.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for joining us for another NHL Stanley Cups. All right, that was funny. I'm just going to leave it in there. Thanks for joining us for the Stanley Cup Finals, game number 6. Hit that like button if you have not done so already. That helps bring more people into the chat. And another way to get more people in the chat, hit that share button and send it out to all the social networks that you can. Hockey boards, sports boards, chat groups, your friends, your enemies, whatever. Get more people here in the chat. It makes it more fun. And let's cheer on the Oilers. And Canada, go. Oilers, go. See you guys in the chat.
Wow. Napa Auto Parts is a proud fan of the Edmonton Oilers.
Look, I know this is radio, so it's hard to show you how much is on sale during the Big One clearance event at End of the Row Flooring Centers, but it's a lot. Like this flooring, or this one, and all these. Yep, all at clearance pricing for a limited time. Now, you don't need to just imagine what it would look like, though. You can use our visualizer at endoftheroll.com to upload a picture of your room to see the flooring in your actual home. Try it. Find something you love, then get a great deal on it at the Big One clearance event on now at End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
We got a 3-1 hockey game in favor of Edmonton. 5:05 left third period, and a face-off win for Adam Henrique. Belted in by Bouchard, and offside whistled against Edmonton.
Bouchard's leaning down and say the fours lane. I think he meant to hit him.
Or did that go out of play? Yeah, sorry. It went out of play, so the faceoff will remain in the Florida zone. And, yeah, that's exactly what Bouchard was doing, making sure he knew he was just trying to hammer it in there. And now Henrique will be chased out of the circle, replaced by Connor Brown. Matthias Janmark, the other member of this line, off the draw. Bouchard tried to serve one toward the front of the net, and that did not pan out. Forsling locates Sasha Barkov, 3-on-2 Florida. Right wing, a shot by Reinhart, deflected wide. Barkov in front, Reinhart denied. Stuart Skinner, a magnificent save. His best of the night, and Reinhart's best look. And then when he tried to tug it back in front, the pass rolled through everyone. Bobrovsky to Ekblad. Reinhart, 57 during the regular season, and 9 more in this run to the Stanley Cup Final, but he's robbed by Stuart Skinner. Lead pass left wing. Panthers back into the zone. Rodriguez short side, tried to tuck it in there on Skinner's right skate, but he's able to make the save and preserve Edmonton's 3-1 lead with 4:12 remaining in the third. What a creation by Barkov in front, but Sam Reinhart put it right back into Stuart Skinner's right pad. Skinner's best stop of the night.
The Oilers' gap has been poor here in the third period, and they look a little panicked when Mr. Barkov's on the ice making plays. 4:12 left. Got to figure by the 3-minute mark, Bobrovsky's going to be out of the net.
Shots are 20 apiece. Since the first period, the Panthers have outshot the Oilers 18-9. Part of that has to do with the fact they fell behind 3-0 for a second consecutive game, and Florida's been slow out of the gates against Edmonton, and they paid for it dearly. Again, we remind you, in the Oilers' prior 14 wins coming into tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs, they've only been behind for a total of 33 minutes. Luostarinen off the draw. Oilers are a plus 27 combined in the first and second periods of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Off the draw, Ekholm with a clear. Shoveled back in by Montour. Panthers tag back onside, and now you've got the sellout crowd calling for Ekholm to take his time. And the Panthers are going to have to give chase here, and Luostarinen finally does. So Ekholm scoots it up the left-hand side. It's popped back into the zone by McDavid, and Florida has to go the full 200. Iko Mikkola up through center. He'll shoot it in. Panthers pour back in. Bobrovsky to the bench. 3.5 to go. Third period. Steele Fogle. Grabbed by Florida and held in from the high slot. Funneled down low, but stolen. Barkov had it, lost it. We've got an empty net. Ryan McLeod to seal it. Backhander, score! There will be a Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Monday night at Sunrise. Edmonton 4, Florida 1.
Leon Draisaitl talked about needing to step up tonight and elevate his level of play. He won a puck battle deep in the Oilers zone on the right side boards, and then it was swept by Ward Fogle, and Ryan McLeod is his third goal of the Stanley Cup Final, and it's 4-1 Edmonton. This place is lit.
What a night. City of Edmonton Edmonton coming through. Some would suggest home ice can be a fallacy in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Well, if home ice ever existed, it was going to exist tonight. Draw won by Barkov. Bobrovsky to the bench. A shot. Skinner stopped it. It was behind him. Fired toward the empty net. Bullseye. From distance. 5-1 Edmonton. And if it hadn't been sealed, well, Darnell Nurse made certain of it from about 170 feet. Skinner made an awkward-looking save, spun it loose, and coming down low to make the steal and the length of the ice delivery. Second empty netter in a span of 12 seconds, Darnell Nurse.
Jack, now the Oilers will probably roll over their third and fourth line guys. You know Florida's going to be looking to stir the proverbial you-know-what.
McLeod and Nurse with the back-to-back empty netters to seal the deal.
Timeout. TSI Allison, I love you, babe. I love you so much. You're the bomb. Back to the hockey.
Off the draw at center. Kulikov will fire it in. I wish everyone listening could be in the building. There's nothing like it. Shot in by Derek Ryan. Panthers looking to locate. And grabbed eventually by Lomberg. Nurse watches as Cousins enters the zone carefully. Poke checked immediately away. Skinner, by the way, will get the assist on Nurse's goal. Fogle, the assist on the empty netter registered by Ryan McLeod that really put this one away. So 5-1, the two empty netters. The lead pass, Luostarinen for Ekman Larsson. They're going to wave off icing. And the crowd's going to take you home for much of the final 100 seconds. Ekman Larsson left circle. Rifles one high to the glove side of Skinner. It's wide. Rebound Ekblad. That's speared by Skinner. And he'll freeze it. And this best of 7 Stanley Cup final is now going to be 3 games apiece. Skinner will freeze the puck with 94 seconds to go. The Oilers are now a +6 in goal differential, which means if Florida somehow recovers and wins Game 7 on Monday night, they'll be only the 4th team in the history of the Stanley Cup to win it despite being outscored in the final. Blues were the last to accomplish the feat in 2019 against the Boston Bruins. Penguins did it against the Red Wings in 2009. Lomberg at center after an Oiler clear. I never thought I wanted to hear 18,000 sing Living on a Prayer, and then I moved to Edmonton. Puck deflected out of play with 1:14 to go in the third. Bob, you've lived in this city all your life. I don't know how to quite capture it. I'm supposed to, but I don't quite know how.
What I would say to you is, guys that grew up watching the Oilers of the 80s, we took for granted what we saw. Bit of a fluke run in 06, not sustainable once Pronger requested the trade. This team has been building and building, and this fan base knows how awesome this is, and they are letting her rip, Jack. They are letting her rip.
Mikko Mikkola from center ice, shooting it in. Now 18,000 are singing one of Shania Twain's ballads. Here's a shot by Kulikov and a blocker save made by Skinner. Broberg crowded in the corner. Final minute of regulation. We won't need overtime, but we are going to need a 7th game in Sunrise, and Bob and I will have it for you at 6:20 Mountain Time on Monday night. And now, as promised, I've got 18,347 analysts to bring you home. racing against Florida. Side of Bobrovsky. Panthers a quick clear down the middle, final 20 seconds.
There's Lomberg. He is.
Lomberg,
how does he not
wrestling match and
cross-check McLeod right in the face? He cross-check. He got the cross-check up on him. Carson Soucy got suspended for that.
Whistle with 8.5 seconds to go. And Lomberg's night is over, and so are the Panthers.
Well, it's part of Lomberg and Florida's identity when he's in there. And he is a legitimately tough, undersized player. I mean, he cross-checked him right in the throat.
8.5 seconds to go. And I think they're going to keep it 5-on-5 for whatever reason. Thought I saw the signal. And really, with the outcome long since decided, it doesn't matter. We're going to have a Game 7 for you on Monday night, and the biggest game in the history of the Stanley Cup Final is about to be played. Edmonton, Florida, Monday night, 6:20 Mountain. The Oilers will look to do what only one other team has done, and that's all she wrote. One final face-off.
What a night.
Wasn't that close?
No, but you live for nights like this. In a support role like ours, watching your team rally all season long, team that you covered. Everybody wrote them off down 3-0.
Everyone wrote them off at 2-9-1 and 5-12-1 and down 3-2 against Vancouver and down 2-1 and 2-0 in Game 4 against Dallas.
I was here, obviously, for Game 6 against Carolina in 06. Listen to this crowd. Players acknowledge it. This crowd helped pick Edmonton up.
The Oilers are going to be on a plane tomorrow. The Panthers knew they'd be on a plane. But for the third consecutive game, they won't have the coveted chalice accompanying them. And now, the cup will be in the building for both teams. Monday night, Game 7. The biggest 60 minutes in the history of the Stanley Cup Final about to unfold. And we'll have it for you on 630 CHED and the Oilers Radio Network. Let's go ringside with our own Brendan Escott.
Yeah, I got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins alongside. And Ryan, I got to ask the same thing that I asked at the first intermission. And that is simply like, why was the moment not too big for this group here on home ice? Why were you able to come away with the victory today?
I mean, we say it, nobody believes us, but we believe in each other in here. And it doesn't really matter the situation. In these situations, you just have to win one at a time, and we believe that if we play our best on any given night, we can win. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, job's not done. Got a big one. It's going to be the hardest one. So we've clawed our way back, and we've got a lot of work.
A big push by them once again in the second period, and a pretty big momentum swing on that called back goal. Just talk to me about standing up to the push that they did bring in the second half of that game in particular.
Yeah, I mean, huge. Obviously, nice echoes our way. Yeah, I mean, they're going to have a push. We know that, but it's about being able to maintain and not give them anything too big. And obviously, they made a nice play there, but obviously a big call and then a call back and some big ones from Stu.
Got one game left here in the season, regardless of outcome. I mean, what's going through your mind here? Just take us inside Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' head.
I mean, just hell of an opportunity here. This is what we play for. This is why we work, and comes down to 3 days from now, and I mean, I couldn't be more excited.
Drag them back to Alberta. Now you drag them to Game 7. Dude, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Guys?
Thank you, Brendan. I mean, the Edmonton Oilers 13-2 in their last 2 home games against the Florida Panthers. An aggregate of 20-5 over the last 10 periods.
It's crazy.
And Sergei Bobrovsky all of a sudden looks human as he has stopped just 44 of the last 58 shots to come his way. Stuart Skinner has outplayed him. Stopped 20 of 21. He's now 5-0 in elimination games in this Stanley Cup playoffs and 10-0 in games 4 through 7. And now we arrive at Game 7 for the second time in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Game 7 against Vancouver, Edmonton was a favorite. And based on the way this series has turned, I expect Edmonton to be the betting favorite in Game 7 on Monday night. So, Bob, what decides Monday in your view?
Well, I think the start is everything based on how the last 3 games have gone. Because Florida has been dealing with a deficit from the get-go.
And they haven't been able to dig their way out of it.
No, they've not. And so in Edmonton's case, they need another real good start. They need to get going, and their penalty killing is just off the charts. It's ridiculous. I didn't like Edmonton's first power play. Forget about the second one. You're up 3-1 in that game. It's more important just to let the 2 minutes ride.
Kill the 2 minutes.
Kill the 2 minutes.
And they did. They got it down to a 6 minutes.
You know what? This team has come from behind all season long. You know, again, you and me sat there after losing to San Jose 2-9-1. And Jay Woodcroft, you know, was 1 game early, and you know, this might be it after that loss that night. And I don't know if we thought 2-9-1 we'd be sitting watching the Oilers, you know, having the privilege of broadcasting the game on June the 24th, 3 days before the NHL draft. But Jack, we're going to be broadcasting the game 3 days before the NHL draft, already in the summer, and nobody would have thought when the Oilers were down 3-0. Well, you know what? Truth is, I think you and me deep down inside said, well, if anybody could do it, this group could do it. Look what they've come from behind, down, you know, 3-9-1 out of the gate, 2-9-1 out of the gate, then 5-12-1 at 18 games. Chris Knobloch starts 2-3 as a head coach. The team won 24 of their next 27 games. Think of 3-game losing streak for Knobloch, 8-game winning streak. 3-game losing streak for Knobloch, 16-game winning streak. 3-game losing streak with an overtime/shootout loss, 5-game winning streak. 3-game losing streak against Florida, and now they've tied at 3-3, and it's going to be awesome in Game 7. So it's been a chance for history. And,
I'm not talking. I don't even think this is NHL history. I think, you know, you look at the American League Championship Series in 2004, and there was a bit of a curse there, and 2 long-standing antagonists, the Yankees and the Red Sox. I think this series is probably second in the history of professional sports. I mean, that's what's on the line Monday night. I mean, I don't know what other series you'd put ahead of it in terms of a comeback. I mean, no one in the NBA has ever done it in any round. And only one team has done it from 3-1, and that was Cleveland over Golden State. And that was kind of a one-off because Golden State came back and won it the very next year. This is seismic, not only in the world of the National Hockey League, but around major professional sports. You do not come back from 3-0 to none down. Well, the Oilers are 60 minutes away from winning the most memorable Stanley Cup final in the history of this game.
Jack, there is one more thing that happened tonight. The Oilers Connor McDavid didn't need a 4-point performance tonight. And
he wasn't on the score sheet.
Wasn't on the score sheet in tonight's game. And we know this about Connor McDavid. It's rare that he's held off the score sheet 2 games in a row. You know he's going to be...
You think he'll be around for Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final?
I can guarantee you. I thought there were some guys with Edmonton as the game wore on. There were some jittery moments, but they survived it. And, you know, sometimes... You take a look at the courage and the conviction that the coaching staff collectively took to make that call. 2-0 up 2-0 in the game on the offside, and that was a tight call. I'm not sure if the spirit of the law was in place to call that goal back when they initially put the call in, but that takes balls to go for it in that situation because you got a 2-0 lead. It's a 2-1 game. If you just give them the goal, you know what? They're not on the penalty kill. If you lose that call, it's a 2-1 game and they're on the power play.
And there might be a handful of head coaches in this league that might not have challenged.
So who's the pressure on Game 7?
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. I still think it resides with the Florida Panthers. Of course, the Oilers would be devastated to lose a Game 7 in which, as you pointed out, they've worked so hard all season to get this point. They're going to play game number 107 of their season on Monday night. But the trophy has now, it's now middle ground. It's not Florida's. The odds are not in Florida's favor at all. I don't think home ice has anything to do with what will happen in Game 7 on Monday night. I think it's the team that's playing better. And for me, I'd rather have the club that's outscored the other team 20-5 in the last 10 periods than the reverse of that. There's nothing to suggest that Florida can push back, even though the Panthers haven't lost 4 in a row. Bob, none of their guys are going, with the exception of one.
Barkov was brilliant tonight.
Alexander Barkov, but he was the only guy who came to play.
Yeah, and what's happening right now with the Oilers is their support guys are scoring.
And they're outplaying the Florida support guys. You and I talked on the plane heading down to Florida, and we said, you know what, at this point, guys like Lundell and Luostarinen are having a greater impact. Tarasenko having a greater impact than Edmonton's depth. That's no longer the case. Even in the games where McDavid got the 8 points, it was started by Janmark and Connor Brown. They were the guys that breathed life into the game for Edmonton, and they were the guys to do it again tonight.
Who got the game-winning goal in tonight's game?
Adam Henrique
on a setup
from Janmark.
From Janmark again on that wide stretch with Ekholm and Janmark. You talked about it. This guy was sent down to the minors when Jay Woodcroft was. Now, to Jay's defense, he got back up and he ended up getting double-digit goals.
Oh, absolutely.
And he was a big.
I'm not saying it was Jay's fault.
No,
Janmark put himself in that situation.
But the reality is, in Janmark's case, the Oilers, he got hurt last year. He's never got the lower body injury early in the playoff series against LA. That affected them against Vegas. And the Oilers.
We're talking about a guy with a Game 7 hat trick on his resume. Matthias Janmark knows how to play.
He's a smart guy. And
would you take another Game 7 hat trick from Matthias Janmark?
I would block slap shots in the nude if Matthias Janmark got a hat trick on Monday night.
As long as you allow me to film it, let's do it.
All right. I don't think that's a visual anybody sees. It truly be a flavalanche. It's been an avalanche here for the Edmonton Oilers over the last 3 games. Offensively, you worry a little about it, but the reality of the situation is there is no question. Games 4, 5, and 6, the Oilers have had the better goaltending. They've had the better special teams. They've been the better team. And, this is going to be something on Monday night. I mean, hey.
Bob, I'm going to put you on the spot. As a lifelong Edmontonian, you've got 1.2 million in the greater metro area. What would you say on their behalf in terms of what this night meant to everyone who lives and treats their city as their home?
In terms of finding a way to even up the series?
And just the city as your home.
Yeah, this is, I think that...
Civic pride. That's what I'm asking.
The way if you're listening in the States right now, the way I would sort of say this is imagine the Green Bay Packers, or imagine maybe at a college football level, the Alabama Crimson Tide, where, in Green Bay, they're the biggest team in Wisconsin, and in Alabama, with all due respect to Auburn, the Crimson Tide are the definitive program. Well, it's been a while, and the Edmonton Oilers, they're actually bigger. They're in a bigger city than those two cities, and there's only one team. There's only one team, and that team is the Edmonton Oilers, and it is generational. And for guys like me in our 50s, we got to watch, we got to meet and know some of those great Oilers, Hall of Famers of the 80s. Again, the 2006 run, and I was there, Jack, for Games 5 and Game 7 in Carolina. And Chris Pronger was brilliant. Edmonton was a way better team by the end of the year than they were at the start of the year. But at the end of the day, once Pronger had made the decision that he was going to leave, we knew it was only going to be a one-year thing. This has been building and building and building. And because you've had it once before, in this market, it just makes it that much more special. Tonight, there's going to be one hell of a... People say, don't party... No, let her rip. Go after it. It's 3-3. It is going to be...
You have license from Bob to celebrate on the weekend.
It is going to be... stoked, pumped, and jacked up around town. Jack, I'll see you tomorrow on the plane, and I may just be coming direct from one of the establishments that I'm going to be going to. I already packed, Jack, just so you know. Now, truth be known, grabbed a little extra myself today, but thank you very much, because you know how superstitious I am in certain things. Jack, this has been an incredible ride. We're going to look back regardless of what happens on Monday, and think we were privileged to watch one of the greatest seasons in the history of the NHL. But I know this. The Oilers have difference makers at the top of the food chain. Those guys have the ability to answer. And right now, the signs are pointing positively in what Edmonton could be capable of doing. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a Saturday night in Fort Lauderdale, a Sunday in Fort Lauderdale. It's a little bit of a practice day. And then it's biggest game. It's the biggest game in the NHL. You've got the biggest star in the league in Connor McDavid with a team on the precipice of pulling off,
I think it's the biggest game in the history of the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Considering the circumstances of this Stanley Cup final, absolutely. 3 games to none.
All I know is tonight Edmonton repped itself beautifully. That's going to be the talk all over the sporting world on Monday on those shows that we love to watch, PTI as an example.
I mean, at the highest level, it's never happened in the World Series. It's never happened in the National Basketball Association. You can make an argument in terms of a championship final. You're talking about one of the biggest games in the history of major professional sports.
And it has a chance to happen with a generational superstar player. And if he pulls this off, it will already cement him as one of the greatest players of all time. Which you and me know he is. We know he is. He's the most advanced player ever played.
Having said all that, one of the most famous coaches in the history of major professional sports says Monday will be the biggest day of your life, but only if you win it. That will be true for the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers, who've played 6 games over 2 weeks and settled nothing. It's 3 games apiece as Edmonton beats Florida 5-1 in Game 6. Stuart Skinner the win with 20 saves. Sergei Bobrovsky charged with a loss. It's his first in either a Game 6 or a Game 7 with the Florida Panthers. He's now 15-8 in the postseason. Skinner is 14-8. Bobrovsky faced 19 shots and was only able to turn aside 16 for the Oilers. You've got Warren Fogle with a goal and an assist. Adam Henrique, the eventual game winner, as Bob noted. Zach Hyman, and then Ryan McLeod and Darnell Nurse turning out the lights with empty netters 12 seconds apart in the waning moments of the third period. Barkov, the only man to beat Stuart Skinner for Florida, and the Panthers' 3-0 lead, it's all gone. And now all that remains is Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, Monday night, 6:20 Mountain. Until then, for Bob Stauffer, Reed Wilkins, Rob Brown, this is Jack Michaels on one of the most memorable nights in the history of the National Hockey League and the city of Edmonton. The Oilers have evened the final. They win it, and they do so convincingly by a count of 5-1. We'll talk to you on Monday night. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was all ours. The Rogers Postgame Show starts right now.
Exclusive live interviews, expert analysis, and game highlights. This is the Rogers Postgame Show. Once again, here's Bob Stauffer on the Oilers Radio Network.
Bennett out to Forsling. His wrist shot saves Skinner. Rebound. Forsling fired again. Block shot. It's going to be a breakaway. Zach Hyman in on Bobrovsky. Scores! 3-0 Edmonton.
There you go. That's the highlight zone. Century Casinos, all in, all games, all season. Century Casinos, 3 great locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton International Airport at Century Mile. Welcome to the winner's zone. Zach Hyman with 1:40 left in the second period. 3-0 Edmonton. Florida got a great individual effort early, less than 2 minutes into period 3 from Sasha Barkov. But McLeod and Nurse with the empty netters. Edmonton beats the Panthers 5-1. We're going to Game 7. Going the distance. This is the Rogers Postgame Show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
Get ready to live sky high. Sky Signature Suites offers remarkable units for rent, featuring sophisticated floor plans, designer finishes, resort-like amenities, and breathtaking views. Situated in the heart of Ice District, Sky is the address for socializing, dining, entertainment, and fun. A building like no other in a location like no other. Visit SkySignatureSuites.com and make your home high above the ordinary.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
You're tuned in to the Rogers Postgame Show on the official voice of the Edmonton Oilers, 630 CHED, and on the Oilers Radio Network.
A shot by Reinhart, deflected wide. Barkov in front. Reinhart denied. Stuart Skinner, a magnificent save. His best of the night, and Reinhart's best look.
There you go. That is the save of the game, brought to you by Access Insurance. Alberta oil field and construction contractors can count on huge saves when they need it the most. Visit accessinsurancegroup.com. I'm Bob Stauffer. Jack Michaels at the call of tonight's game. Cam Moon, Rod Brown, Reed Wilkins, Brendan Escott, all part of the Oilers radio network from the Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Legacy Heating and Cooling, home and no interest and no payments for a year. We're in the Rogers postgame show. Rogers is Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network. 5-1, the Oilers win. They've now outscored the Florida Panthers in the last 3 games in this series, 18-4. Let's bring aboard Inside the Game analyst, 18-5. Our Inside the Game analyst, Rob Brown. Rob, what are your thoughts on tonight?
Well, I thought it was a well-played game by the Edmonton Oilers. They're again, role players stepping up in big moments. A strong goaltending effort, as we've seen over the last couple of games. The Oilers came to play. The first period, I know that you and Jack were just talking about it. I don't know if the Florida Panthers can win a game in this series without getting the lead. They keep having to chase. And when they chase, it gets away from their strength of being a strong forechecking team, and that opens up the game for them, and that allows the Oilers to counter-strike. So a great game by a team that is looking to create history and fun for all the fans, and now we get to look forward to one more game. We now know when the Edmonton Oilers season is ending. Now it's just a matter of whether or not they're holding the cup when it does.
16:40 time on ice for Leon Draisaitl, 18:58 for Connor McDavid. With the Oilers having the game home and cooled in the final 3 minutes, they didn't see the ice. They got 2 days off in between the game. Connor did not score, and Edmonton won this game 5-1. Didn't have a point in tonight's game. You talked about the support players. Foegele on the setup from Draisaitl. Foegele was terrific tonight. He's been pretty good in this series, and it's going to help his cause in terms of getting a contract somewhere next year, possibly with the Oilers. And then the one line, Henrique, Janmark, and Brown. Again, they built up the 2-0 lead for Edmonton, and those guys are all involved in the penalty kill. They were huge, Rob.
You know, we talk about Connor McDavid and how great he was in games 4 and 5, and he was. But do the Oilers make it to game 7 without the third line? The contributions, you know, the shorthanded goals, the 5-on-5 goal, the penalty killing. I don't know if they can. Connor's always going to be great, and he's been great every other playoff series, yet the Oilers haven't gotten to this point. They didn't have the depth players that can contribute in big moments. The third line, I don't know if the Oilers are playing in Game 7 on Monday night
100%.
If that line wasn't put together.
How big were the you-know-what collectively of the coaching staff on that? I mean, that was a tight call on what should have been, easily could have been, a 2-1 goal that would have 10 seconds after Edmonton went up 2-0, and instead Noah Siegel, Mike Finelli, the video coach and video coordinator from the team, they communicate with the coaching staff, and they had the courage and conviction to go with it.
Good on them. It was a great call, but honestly, I don't think it's that hard to call.
No.
The Oilers penalty killing is so good. If we're wrong, well, so what? They're not going to score on us. I think that is a confidence right now that Chris Knobloch has with his penalty killing unit. You know what? It's close. We feel it's going to go our way, but if it doesn't, our killers are going to get the job done. So I think it was easier for Chris Knobloch because their penalty killing has been through the roof. Again, the third line and the penalty killing has been so good in these playoffs and then into the finals that you can have a night where you're facing elimination and your 2 best players combined for 1 assist and you still find a way to win a hockey game. So yes, the call was great, but it was made because they know if it went the wrong way for them, our penalty killing will get the job done just like it has this entire playoff series.
Rob, both teams have the pressure on them on Monday night. Who's got more pressure?
Well, Florida does. I mean, they'll become a trivia question. We've been talking over the last, a week, which team has come back from 0-3 in the National Hockey League history. We're seeing all the stats being put up about the NBA, about Major League Baseball, teams that have come back. Well, if the Florida Panthers lose, they become that trivia question. Which team gave up an 0-3 league? Well, there was two. It happened in 42, and again, it happened in 2024. So the pressure's on them. Now, I do believe Florida's going to come out and have a good game, but they cannot win if they do not get the lead, and they cannot win if they do not score a power play goal. And I know what you and Jack were talking about with the players. Barkov was fantastic in this game.
He was best player of the race.
Oh, he was incredible, but I didn't notice Tkachuk. I didn't notice Reinhart. And I noticed Verhaeghe a lot, but it was for the wrong reasons, turning the puck over time and time again. I noticed a lot of Oiler players. The Florida Panthers don't have enough depth scoring that we've seen thus far in the playoffs that they can have their best players take nights off. And in this series, we're gone through 6 games right now. Matthew Tkachuk, who is a very good hockey player, fantastic hockey player, I've noticed him once in 6 games. That's not going to get it done for the Florida Panthers. So I believe Florida has more pressure on them, but it's one game, and it is going to be so much fun for all the hockey fans, but for the people here in Edmonton who have been supporting this team all year long. Giddy up. Here we go. Monday night, Game 7.
Good job playing hurt, Rob. Thanks.
Thank you.
Smart Play of the Night's brought to you by Catelli Smart Pasta with all natural ingredients. It's a smart move for your next meal. Look for the box the next time you shop. It's simple, man. The coaching staff making the call. Rob thought it was an easy call. I thought it was a tough call. Whatever the case, it was the right call. And the Oilers league took the goal off side on Florida, kept the game at 2-0, then Hyman made it 3-0. And despite a brilliant individual effort for Barkov early in the third, Oilers win 5-1 with a pair of empty netters. This is the Rogers Postgame Show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Hey parents, do you work in downtown Edmonton? Childcare is hard to find, but at Kepler Academy, inside Sun Life Place, we still have some space for children 12 months to 6 years old. Located at 101 23 Hull Street, Kepler Academy Sun Life Place is an award-winning early learning and childcare provider, voted Edmonton's top choice for 4 years in a row. Visit KeplerAcademy.ca. Mention this ad and your registration fees will be waived.
Hockey fans, with a spotless reputation, Scandinavian Building Services is responsible for keeping over 70 million square feet of space clean and safe every day. With over 65 years in the industry, no cleaning challenge is too big or too small. From national retailers and commercial spaces to small offices and entertainment centers like Rogers Place, let Scandinavian take the worry off your cleaning program. Visit Scandinavian.ca to learn more. Scandinavian Building Services. Our reputation is spotless.
When you play the largest 50-50 in sports, everybody wins. Your support makes all of Oil Country a better place. A place of kindness, caring, and compassion. Uplifting those in need, changing lives forever. The largest 50-50 pot in professional sports is currently growing by the second. Get your tickets now at EdmontonOilers.com and help change lives today. Maybe even your own.
AGLC license number 645766.
This is the Rogers Postgame Show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Out of town scoreboard for Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. Well, the NHL Stanley Cup Final goes to Game 7 Monday. The AHL Calder Cup Final is tied 2-2 between Coachella Valley and Hershey, who are coached by Todd Nelson, former Oilers head coach. Series tied 2-2, Game 5 in Coachella Valley. They go 2-3-2, so Hershey's got Game 6 and Game 7 coming up. Game 5 goes tomorrow night. Here at Rogers Place, the Edmonton Oilers force Game 7 by virtue of a convincing 5-1 home ice victory over the Florida Panthers. The Oilers have outscored the Panthers now to the tune of 18-5 in the last 3 games. This is the Rogers Postgame Show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Chemco is building industry across Canada, and now they're on the lookout for civil and electrical project managers, estimators, and superintendents to join their dedicated team. Why Chemco? Because Chemco cares. They put people first, offering top-tier compensation packages and an unwavering commitment to safety. At Chemco, safety isn't just a priority. It's everybody's business. Ready to be part of a team that truly values you? Visit chemco.com/careers today.
The Brick and the Edmonton Oilers both started right here in Edmonton back in the 70s. And we know nothing is more exciting than playoff hockey. We're next to you in the stands, painted blue and orange, cheering our hearts out. And when we're not there, we're in our stores, making sure you have everything you need to cheer them on in your home. We're proud of this city and its rich sports history. The Brick, supporting the Edmonton Oilers and fans right from the beginning. Let's go, Oilers.
Let's go to the Molson Cup. 3 stars presented by Molson. Whether it's Canadian Ultra Export or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it. Stuart Skinner improves to 10-0 during this year's Stanley Cup playoffs games 4 through 7 by virtue of a 20-save performance. He's tonight's 3rd star. The 2nd star with a goal tonight was Zach Hyman. Hyman becomes the first, the highest goal-scoring player in a single playoffs in the last 28 years. Scored on a breakaway that really gave the Oilers the insurance they needed late in the second period with the 16th of the year. Warren Fogle got Edmonton started with a goal and a setup from Leon Draisaitl early in the first period, and then assisted the empty netter to Ryan McLeod that made it 4-1. He is tonight's 1st star. The Rogers postgame show is heard following each of our NHL broadcasts. The Edmonton Oilers return to action. Game 7 coming up Monday night. The Stanley Cup Final. All the marbles. What a comeback by the comeback kids. Oilers and Panthers on Monday night. So long, everybody, from the Oilers Radio Network.
The Rogers postgame show is heard following each of our NHL broadcasts. Portions of this exclusive broadcast are brought to you by Ford, official partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Built Ford proud. Molson, whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it. And Rogers, Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network.
To the net, backhander score!
This live play-by-play broadcast is intended for the private entertainment of our audience. Any rebroadcast without the expressed written consent of the Oilers Entertainment Group is strictly prohibited. All games, all season. Exclusively on the Oilers Radio Network. The game is over when the horn sounds. The analysis ends when you say it does. This is Overtime Open Line. Oilers hockey is brought to you by the Butcher Shop at Friesen Brothers. And now, the Heartland Ford Overtime Open Line. Here's Reed Wilkins on the official voice of your Edmonton.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
Delivered the money. I got up with Liberty and Fox and the mayor at City Hall, and we announced the arena deal, Fox and Liberty. And we were coordinated. It was choreographed. And then I was a speechwriter when I was a kid, and I had the blessing to do some work for the governor of New York when he was vice president, Nelson Rockefeller, and he had that famous picture where he was being heckled and he offered his opinion of that. And that picture of him flipping the bird was, I figured, a nice gift to send Dave Checkins, who was a good friend of mine, by the way. I love it. I never knew that. I love it.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio. SiriusXM 86.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, it's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Edmonton Oilers facing the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 8 p.m., Oilers on Sirius 162, XM 220 and Internet 931. Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219 and Internet 932. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, it's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Edmonton Oilers facing the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 8 p.m., Oilers on Sirius 162, XM 220 and Internet 931. Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219 and Internet 932. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, it's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Edmonton Oilers facing the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 8 p.m., Oilers on Sirius 162, XM 220 and Internet 931. Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219 and Internet 932. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, it's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Edmonton Oilers facing the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 8 p.m., Oilers on Sirius 162, XM 220 and Internet 931. Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219 and Internet 932. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
Toronto Maple Leafs winger Ryan Reeves joined Dave McCarthy for Sunday Brunch on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio Channel 91 to discuss the Florida Panthers and what Craig Berube brings to Toronto as their new head coach.
You know, they play hard and they play with really good structure. You know, what I'm seeing, from the games that I've watched is, Edmonton, obviously they like to come through the neutral zone with a lot of speed. They make the east-west pass and kind of get through the middle. Florida's just clogging up that middle, and it's really frustrating Edmonton. They're not, obviously, besides yesterday, they've had a hard time getting into the offensive zone clean. And, they just seem to really be, every time McDavid touches the puck, there's somebody right on him right away, and he's not able to get that speed that he's used to having in that room that he's used to having. So, it's been interesting to see their structure really frustrate them.
Yeah, and it's not just against Edmonton as well. It was David Pastrnak, it was Nikita Kucherov, Art Panarin, Mika Zibanejad. All of those guys, 0 goals at 5-on-5 in the playoffs against the Panthers. I mean, it's no accident that they are where they are. What do you make of the news that Craig Berube, the new head coach of the Maple Leafs, and what do you think he will be able to bring to the group?
I got to sit with him briefly after the season once he was hired. I think he's just going to bring a new attitude, just a little new swagger that obviously the team has been missing. I'm excited to play for him. He obviously was really liked in St. Louis. I never got to play for him there. I missed him by a year and a half, but I've talked to guys about him, and everybody kind of says the same thing. They go through a wall for the guy, and I think. I think that's an important aspect for a team and a coach. It's going to be. I think it's going to be a fun year with him.
Does it make a difference when a coach with a Stanley Cup on his resume walks into the room and just carries that level of cachet?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just like when you bring in a player who has Stanley Cups. I think you understand that they know what it takes to win. And, with him having a cup his first year in St. Louis, I think everybody kind of understands that he was a big part of turning that team around, and he knows what he's talking about. So I think that resume is gonna help for sure.
And lastly, before I let you go, I think it's fair to say you are the reigning heavyweight in the league right now. Craig, I think, was the reigning heavyweight, if not right up there during his day. 5th most tilts all time in the National League at 257. Have you ever jumped on YouTube and studied what Craig got up to back in the day?
I've seen a couple for sure. He swings a little more freely than I do. I like a little more. I like to be a little more technical, but the game was a little different back then. There was a lot more guys that just kind of chucked and didn't worry about what was coming back at him. So I'm not going to say I'm adopting his style, but he was a bad man back in the day.
That was Maple Leafs winger Ryan Reeves on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio Channel 91 with Dave McCarthy for the Sunday Brunch.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, it's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Edmonton Oilers facing the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 8 p.m., Oilers on Sirius 162, XM 220 and Internet 931, Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219 and Internet 932, national feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, it's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Edmonton Oilers facing the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 8 p.m., Oilers on Sirius 162, XM 220 and Internet 931, Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219 and Internet 932, national feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, it's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Edmonton Oilers facing the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 8 p.m., Oilers on Sirius 162, XM 220 and Internet 931, Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219 and Internet 932, national feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for
Get out of here, Frank Trachtenberg. Get out of here, man. Wow. I had to jump in here. I got to shut this down. We're about to hit 131,000 views. And approaching, we're 50 subscribers short of hitting 100 tonight. Or 1,000 tonight, excuse me, 100, Jesus. Wow, Richard Fewer, thank you. Catherine Hunter, thank you for the kind words. This is unbelievable. Dogs are going nuts. There's a coyote out there or something. I don't know what's going on. But had to jump in really quick and just say thank you to every single one of you. Sick Kids is insane. As a kid who wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that hospital and what it did for my mom. To share this with 130,000 people across the world is insane. So, I'll leave it there. Game 7, Monday night. It's going to be good. Dogs are going again, and I have literally a baby kitten down here attacking my foot. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Mary, you make a cute baby. My sweet girl. Yes, I know. We gotta get your mama some more tuna, don't we? Alright. Good night, everybody. TSI Allison, I love you. I miss you like crazy. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what you guys think about the place you go tomorrow. See you guys soon. Bella, I love you. Thanks for helping with the Discord thing to get ready for the Sick Kids call. Julie, thank you for sharing your phone to buy the memberships and gift those out to the people. And Sarah and Tom, clean up after yourselves. Don't be rude. and just grow up because, enjoy your childhood, but don't be a pain in the butt and annoy your teenage sisters. Love you guys. Good night. Babe, you the bomb. I love you so much. Thank you for saying what you said in the chat about always believing in me, because there have been times when I had doubted myself when things had gone down a little bit, but never truly doubted it because I knew that it was all about the community. And look at it. Look at it. Doing big things. Changing the world. One insider at a time. Not kidding. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Good night.
Way back when once were, so that's changed for sure. And I've heard from a coaching standpoint too at times, well, this guy treats everybody the same, whether it's the first liner or the fourth liner. And then I think, well, is that really reality? I mean, different players are going to be treated differently. I mean, at some point, do you have to recognize, look, some guys need the pat on the back and some guys need a kick in the pants and that sort of thing. And, how quickly do you come to a realization as a head coach that, again, you have to treat players very likely a little bit differently?
Well, you have to listen. They're all the roles are different, but their status has to be the same. They have to feel important and a big part of their team, whatever that role is. You can't have different statuses. You can't have two sets of rules. You listen. Every team knows who their best players are. Mm-hmm. Every team knows who their role players are.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, it's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Edmonton Oilers facing the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 8 p.m., Oilers on Sirius 162, XM 220, and Internet 931. Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219, and Internet 932. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, it's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Edmonton Oilers facing the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 8 p.m., Oilers on Sirius 162, XM 220, and Internet 931. Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219, and Internet 932. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, it's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Edmonton Oilers facing the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 8 p.m., Oilers on Sirius 162, XM 220, and Internet 931. Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219, and Internet 932. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Friday, June the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, it's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Edmonton Oilers facing the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 8 p.m., Oilers on Sirius 1